All right. First of all, we gotta fix whatever the fuck we got going on. There's way too many tiers here. We just need a ABC. Yeah, and that's what we need.
Haven't
Should
seen.
should
I
we
don't
do a
know what
haven't
letter
seen?
that is.
We'll keep it there
I'm
just in
not.
case, because I don't know if there's gonna be
Just in
one on here that
case.
we all haven't seen. But
Yeah.
okay, Incredible Hulk. Wow, what a start.
Fucking.
I volunteer F.
F. You can put it
Yeah.
already? Anyway.
Yeah, I would say F.
I mean,
That's a strong F tier. It's
my
a very
only
sad
argument
movie.
is that there's just no redeemable qualities about it, really.
It really does
It
just
has a
suck.
good score,
They, I
but
mean,
like,
they had
Well,
to.
it's probably the best version of the Hulk because like they kind of made the Hulk into kind of a little sissy boy in the MCU a little bit. I like Mark Ruffalo's character a lot more, but than Edward Norton's character. But other than that, that's like even a stretch to me. But
yeah, I don't know. There's just nothing really redeemable about it for me to
just trying to
even put
pull
it in
hope
D.
out of the.
Spider-Man 1 Raimi.
That's a solid
I
A or
I would
B.
yeah, I
A.
would point A personally.
Yeah,
A
the
tier.
direct
I
the
think
direction
it
was
gets
really good.
underrated in retrospect how good
Raymer.
2 is, but
My only gripe is fucking. I wasn't a big fan of MJ in this movie,
I mean
but
MJ's kind of in all
yeah,
of them. That's really
Yeah.
my only
yeah. It's
complaint
just
about the Raimi
this
trilogy
one
is
in
MJ.
particular
Is
is pretty good
this
though.
is
Is this
X2,
X
is it?
one?
I think this
Is
is
it X two or
X2.
X one? I can't even see it.
Let's see. Hold on.
No, it is X
That's
two.
two.
Yeah, it's 2.
That's two.
Oh fuck yeah, X two was heat.
I
X two
love
was some
X2.
super hot. X two was some super hot fire.
I'm
I don't know
between
what
I don't
between
remember
A
watching this
and
movie, but I
B.
remember
I mean,
but
I
I
don't
remember
think
that
it's
I watched
good
it.
as Raimi Spider-Man,
it's
but I
not.
do
No,
really
it's
like it.
not. We'll see. We can adjust it later, but like for now, I'd probably say it'd be like,
It's definitely the best of that original X-Men trilogy, bar
oh for
none.
sure, dude. Is X Men one on here? Oh my god.
Probably
If it is,
not.
it's gonna be fucking hilarious. Oh my god,
It
dude. The
could
We
be.
could go
fucking
searching.
what was his name? Ray Parks. Ray Park. I don't know if you know this, Cerno, but the guy who played Darth Maul in the prequels,
Mm-hmm.
he played Toad in the X Men One movie, and it was
Oh
some
no
of
way.
the most amusing acting you'll ever see. They tried to make Toad look like some super cool acrobatic badass for whatever reason, even though Toad is always and has been and will be a fucking stupid gag side character villain that kind of sucks. It was so goofy. Oh my god.
That's funny.
I will say
I
that
think.
the Nightcrawler sequence in X2 makes me want to put
Oh,
it in
dude,
A.
Nightcrawler is so fire.
Nightcrawler is one of my favorite characters in any of these movies.
Yeah,
He's so sick.
Nightcrawler was fire. I fuck with Nightcrawler.
We'll leave it at B though. It's appropriate. I don't think it's quite as
Yeah.
good as Raimi Spider-Man, but
God, the
No,
only
it's
bad
not.
thing about Nightcrawler is it just reminds it every time I hear the name Nightcrawler, it reminds me of the scene from the EX Men
Oh yeah.
where he just the guy just the guy who plays as Professor X in that version.
Pete
You
Holmes.
smell like shit everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's like, when he vanishes, he leaves behind that like dust, and it was really funny.
Iron
Smell
Man
like
Yeah.
2.
shit.
Uh,
I
Mm.
I would go D probably. I
yeah.
don't.
It
It's
had the
not.
cherry blossom scene and a cool suit up sequence with the suitcase, but like,
I always
let's
say
be
I love
honest.
the greenhouse action scene specifically. That's the best
Yeah,
part of this movie. Also,
Yeah.
shout out
but
Sam
dude,
Rockwell, who's great in this, but that's about it.
yeah. Let's be
Uh,
honest here.
Yeah.
Out of all the Iron Man suit up scenes, the suitcase in the on the racetrack was really cool. But why the fuck did Whiplash give him enough time to do that? He stared at him doing it the whole fucking time. He could have just split the suitcase in half instantly and killed him right there on the spot in cold blood. But he fucking
Yeah,
didn't.
but
He's like,
plot armor.
I'm gonna let him suit up and beat my ass.
I want
It's
the
so
bird.
I hated it. It was such
I
bad
want
writing.
the bird. And then probably one of the most annoying Iron Man villains, fucking
I
Hammer.
want my bird. Justin Hammer was cool though. Like he was. I liked the whole scene in the courthouse was so fire. It was really well written.
There's
That
no
was
Because
that
even
was a
way.
with
good
like,
scene.
There's no way they put Iron Man 2 on this and not Iron Man 3.
are
That
you
is
dead ass?
horrific.
Are you
I'm pretty
fucking my
sure, unless I
balls?
can't see.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
that's rough.
isn't that Iron Man
Oh, it's
3?
right
It's right
there.
after
Holy
Avengers.
shit! No, it's right there.
Dumbass.
I was looking down here. Thank God. Okay.
Or Avengers.
Avengers 1
Original
is
Avengers.
an A tier movie. I love
I
Avengers
would
1.
I would
A
go.
movie.
Okay, I'd go B
A for
probably,
Avengers.
but
A for Avengers. But the first Avengers is a classic. Like it's just
it's a
as far
great
as superhero
movie.
movies goes. Yeah, it
But I
was
don't
really
think
good.
it's like
Like
up with the
inter-
best necessarily.
It defined the proper way to establish crossover movies. Like in large groups.
Yeah, but my counter argument to that is Guardians 1 did that without any movies before it or setting it up.
Yeah, but that's James Gunn, brother.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Avengers
You
is
don't
great.
fuck with
I
it?
guess I'm fine with that. I mean, my only thing is I don't know if I like it more than X2.
Oh, I'm
That's
gonna
tough.
I'm gonna enjoy rating the second movie after this.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 is great. I don't
Iron Man
care what
3 is
Iron Man 3 is
anyone
great.
says. Iron Man 3
It's
is
the most
so good.
underrated
It is
MCU movie.
yeah, hands down. I don't. Everyone just gets so upset about the Mandarin twist that I swear it just clouds their opinion on the rest of the movie.
The Mandarin in this movie, or the Mandarin in Shang-Chi, was better than he was in this movie.
I don't agree with that, honestly, but
Dude, it's Trevor, bro. You don't fuck with Trevor? All my
Trevor.
homies fuck with Trevor.
Fucking Trevor.
are we? Can we go
I
B
think
with this?
I can go B with
Yeah,
that.
All right,
yeah,
cool,
B's
cool.
good. B's
Iron Man
good.
3 is
B.
great, underrated.
F F
Yeah,
F F
there's
F
no,
F F
there's
F
nothing you
F
can
F
say.
F.
We'll just move
Oh,
on.
Dark World.
Can we change haven't seen to literal trash?
Oh, don't worry. There's a movie on here that's worse than this. There's probably a
Am I-
few,
Yeah, I
honestly.
think I see it. Wait, no, not yet.
Civil
War?
War. I think Civil War's on the other side overrated as hell.
Yeah,
and I would
this
probably
is
go
the
C tier
most-
with it.
No, this is the most overrated MCU movie by a fucking country mile.
Sad.
Starting any objections to C tier?
Nah, I'd take a C tier with this one.
Okay.
C for Civil War.
There you go. Just to explain why briefly, this is like the prime movie that needed real stakes, and it's also the movie that shoehorns probably the most jokes and unnecessary shit in it, and it just becomes messy and convoluted.
It feels rushed. Civil War felt rushed.
It does. It needed more
Like
time.
the pacing was way too fast.
And
then they shoehorn Zola
Zemo.
into the movie too, or Zemo.
Yeah.
Not Zemo.
Yeah.
It's like, why? You didn't need to shoehorn Zemo into this movie.
They just it's overstuffed and it's not focused at all. The best part
Yeah.
about this movie is the very end between just the Cap and Tony fight. That's the best part of this movie. And the
Yeah.
airport scene I don't know why people like praise that scene so much. I think it's one of the worst in the MCU. It bothers me. I don't know. Civil War's overrated. You heard it here first.
It felt too long.
No, you want
The
to
fight at the airport
want to
felt
talk
too long.
about shoehorning? This movie was literally made Marvel needed a good enough reason to pitch bringing Spider-Man into the MCU to Sony.
And no,
Yeah,
it
that's true.
seriously is like the most shoehorned shit. Like it's cool to see him there,
Literally.
but it
They
is
put him in
so
the trailer,
forced.
bro. That's why this movie got so much hype, because they put fucking Spider-Man in the trailer. It made no sense. Think about it. Like Tony's a genius. They've shown him, or they've shown us how smart that he can be, and they've established his character as that, witty, smart, arrogant, whatever. There's no excuse for him to just see Spider-Boy on YouTube and be like, yeah, we're gonna have him fight Captain America, Hawkeye, fucking all these people that can fucking body him, and then just make him OP with plot armor. It's just it was stupid.
I don't know.
Like how was I know they like weren't quote unquote trying, you know what I mean? Because they were all like they didn't want to kill each other in the movie, but like let's be real. Spider-Man in Homecoming was able to beat the Vulture, who was bloodlusted almost,
True.
and like he was able to beat Falcon and Bucky. If Bucky gave a fuck more than he did, if he wasn't having an existential crisis, Bucky would have ripped his spine straight out of his back.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
and like they made Bucky and Falcon look like puss. Like there's no reason why Falcon couldn't have cut the webs. There's no reason. But like,
If my only thing about that though is every time anyone ever references Spider-Man's strength as being not that great, I just remember the scene in the comics where Doc Ock takes over Spider-Man's body and he kills a man by accident.
oh no, that's Superior Spider-Man. No, Superior Spider-Man is
Superior.
Superior Spider-Man. That was a whole like actual like line where their bodies did get switched, and the Doc Ock version, the Doc Ock with Peter Parker's mind, was in prison, while Doc Ock in Peter's mind or in Peter's body was going all about. So he created like an even stronger suit with that sinister like evil mentality. It was
Yeah.
crazy. But
All right,
Yeah.
to refocus,
Moving
has
on.
anybody seen Elektra? Because I have not.
oh no, I completely forgot.
No.
This movie. That's the red girl, right, with the size.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Nope.
movie.
No,
was-
movie we have no
I
seen.
remember they tried to shoehorn her into fucking goddamn Daredevil or some shit. What was it?
Into the Spider-Verse is S tier.
Oh,
be
that's
honest with
arguably
you.
That is
the best.
I'm gonna be honest.
This
with
is the
y'all.
one of the best
I'm gonna-
animated movies
ever.
No,
period.
I'm gonna do you one better. Best animated movie of all time.
I mean,
I'm gonna say
it's
one of
fair.
because
It's- yeah,
because then you
it's
got
one of.
then you got to think of like the Leica movies and all that shit and Studio Ghibli.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, of course. I mean, come on. All right.
Yeah.
Age of Ultron.
No.
Age of Ultron.
I'd say D tier or C tier.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I would probably edge.
I want it in
towards
C
C. Yeah, I agree.
personally.
There's enough keeping it afloat.
One of the main the only thing I don't like about Avengers Endgame personally is that they've killed off Quicksilver before they can use him as an actual character. That's Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
You said Endgame.
Did I say Endgame?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did, but yeah, we know what you mean.
No. For Age of Ultron, they killed off Quicksilver before they can use him as an actual character.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucked.
It's just kind of meandering too much. Like it feels like filler for an Avengers movie. It's weird, especially when you compare it to all the other Avengers movies around it. Like it's
True.
kind of It's inconsequential, I guess. Ragnarok is great. I would. I'd go A.
I'd make.
I would put it right in the middle between S and A, like either the lowest S or the best A.
We'll keep S for like top.
It is the best Thor
movie.
movie.
Other things in here that'll probably go S. So we'll put it top of A.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's hilarious and it's infinitely rewatchable.
True.
I don't know how they
There's
dropped
so many
the
good
ball
things
so
about
hard
it.
with Love and Thunder, but they managed.
Because didn't James Gunn not direct Love and Thunder?
No, Waititi did. Same guy that did Ragnarok, but yeah, I'm not really sure what happened. I don't.
I feel like there just wasn't I feel like there just wasn't a movie with it. Like there wasn't really like anything to do with Thor.
It felt like an SNL
they need to
skit,
do,
including Thor.
Yeah.
Like it was very.
If you like rom-coms, you like it. If you don't, then you won't. Anyway.
Infinity War is probably S. It's definitely
S.
Infinity War is an S tier.
I mean,
MCU movie.
I agree. It's so like I always say, like I don't think Marvel's ever had a movie where the stakes felt higher than this. Like they actually went through with it on keeping the tone dark and keeping it gritty with its opening and just killing Loki right off the bat. Like this movie shocked me and I'm sure the rest of us. So yeah, it goes S tier. It's great.
It was one of the few movies where the brain work, please. Where the protagonist actually lost and you felt like you as the audience lost.
Yeah.
It created a sense of hopelessness that you can't get anywhere else.
And it made the wait for Endgame like tough. Because it ends on such a sour note, and they stuck to it, and I give so much credit to them for that. Because this is a studio that very rarely takes risk like that. So for them to like go all out and make it dire, I remember like the opening credits. There's no music behind it. The opening Marvel sequence, which is a rarity. Like they were serious about this, and the best came out of it. So yeah, it's S tier.
True.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 sucks. I would go F tier.
Yeah.
I think I watched both the Amazing Spider-Mans once, and I didn't like either one of them.
Yeah, they're both bad. And Electro, bro. The scene,
God.
no, the most hilarious scene in this movie is when Electro is like he's getting electrocuted by all the eels, and his fucking like his tooth gap just like becomes normal as he's getting electrocuted. It makes no fucking sense at all. Like,
Remember
what
that?
are we
I
doing?
remember that. It was so dumb.
God, man,
Dude,
this movie was an insult.
dude,
It-
I found it. Dude, I figured it out.
Hmm.
The electric eels is what the one doctor recommends that doesn't recommend the other toothpaste.
God.
The 9 out of 10 doctors recommend it. The one
Toothpaste,
doctor that
toothpaste,
doesn't.
toothpaste. Electric eels, toothpaste,
Dude, you
toothpaste.
saw the way he fixed that gap, bro?
Also, we'll talk about it in a second with the first Amazing Spider-Man, but these movies go like way too far with the romance between like Emma Stone and
Oh,
Andrew Garfield
true.
are great actors, and like this
Mhm.
would work in I don't know, not a Spider-Man movie, but it just spends so much time on their fucking relationship, and there's so much like
I'm
just uninteresting shit from a Spider-Man perspective. Like for them to
yeah.
spend that much time on that side of it, and yet have the Spider-Man, everything that involves Spider-Man be arguably the most least interesting part about these movies is kind of disgusting.
I would say, I would
Yeah.
say, Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man, but Toby is the best Peter Parker. But Tom Holland is like a good mix of both,
I think
like a decent mix of both.
I don't know, man. I never really liked Andrew
I
Garfield
I
Spider-Man
felt
until
bad for
No
Andrew
Way Home.
Garfield
No,
because I feel like because you
It
like you
wasn't
look at
his
Andrew
fault.
Andrew's like you looked at Andrew's like his enthusiasm for the movies and his like his like thought process around the character. It was such a good way to portray Spider-Man, but the movies themselves sucked.
Yeah,
It
and
was
like
so bad.
they're just too studio, especially following Raimi. Like you can't follow Raimi's trilogy with this. Like you just
Yeah.
can't, you
No.
can't do it. Those movies were like very creative, very offbeat, very much had their own identity. These are just like, yeah, this is just studio shitted out two Spider-Man
It's
movies.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
unfair because it's Raimi's directing, and I feel like if you took Andrew Garfield and put him in Toby's position, it would have been better.
I don't think so. I think Toby embodies Raimi's cheesiness and what he was going for. Like I don't think Andrew's way too serious of an actor for that to translate, I think.
No, I think that I think it's kind of the other way around because Andrews can be so serious as an actor that he can adapt into a different role. Like we've seen that.
I don't know.
That
I
that with
can't
his
see
son.
Andrew Garfield in like the early 2000s being Spider-Man. I don't
I
even
don't
think
know.
I think it's like we said, it's not his fault. Like if he just has better writing, he was arguably the best one in No Way Home. Like when
I
he
would say
just
he
has
was the
it
best.
when he just has inspired writing behind him, he's great.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
proven to be. And everyone knows Andrew Garfield's a great actor.
Oh
Social
yeah, that's
Network,
yeah.
I mean Hacksaw Ridge, I mean I could go on, but like
Yeah.
it's not his fault. But these movies, does anyone argue the first one in F also?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
bad movie, great actor. Very unfortunate.
Yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp, holy bad. We're just getting a shit
Oh
stretch
yeah,
here. Holy.
dude. Okay, this
It
I
was
have a lot of
not
fucking
good.
bones to pick with this movie. The
Oh.
fucking main antagonist and the protagonist were
We're going for the
fighting for
same
the
goal. Yep.
same fucking thing. It's so dumb, bro. It's so dumb.
It's egregious that script. I mean, that script clearly needed a rework
It made
because
no sense.
it's one of those things. Is like this whole movie could have never happened if two characters spoke for 10 minutes.
Literally, literally.
And once you figure that out, it really deflates and even if the experience was enjoyable, which it's not, don't worry. But yeah, I
It
don't know.
literally made no fucking sense at all. It was so stupid.
Yeah, I don't really have
Just
F tier
One of
again.
the, oh yes, easily. If I could put one below after, I would.
unfortunate.
I'm dead
Yeah, it's
serious.
just again with the no redeemable qualities part. I mean, the best part about the whole Ant-Man series is everything that doesn't have to do with Ant-Man. Like when Paul Rudd and Michael Pena are just like shooting the shit, that's when Ant-Man's at its best. And that's why I think
True.
this first
True.
one is, it's not great because unfortunately it does have
The
Ant-Man
first one's
shit and a terrible
charming. No, the
villain.
first. No,
But
it's not even that the Ant Man shit in the first one is not even bad. It's the villain sucks. That's the biggest problem with the first one, is that the actual villain is horrible. He's so bad. He's so bad. Like,
And I've always said about this movie, I wish it was weirder. If you're gonna make a movie about
yeah,
Ant-Man, you
weirder.
have to make it quirky. And
yeah.
unfortunately, this
Especially
one
with
is
Paul Rudd.
pretty run of the mill. But it has a good
This movie,
energy and,
like,
and memorable moments, so
yeah,
I give it credit. I would probably go C tier
for what?
I
The
almost
first
want to put it
Ant-Man?
in D.
for the first
The
The
first
Ant-Man.
first
one.
Ant-Man, no, the first Ant-Man is rewatchable though. Like, it's charming.
Yeah.
Like, if you go
Okay.
back, if you
In
go
fact,
back
I'd
and
put it
watch
at the
the
front of
movie,
C.
yeah, if you go back and watch it, you're entertained by it, and you feel when you put it up against something else, you feel like you shouldn't put it higher than it, but like you were way more entertained by it, so you got to put it above it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like a guilty pleasure movie. That's what
Definitely,
I've always
definitely the best
that's
of
what
the
I've always
three
described it
for
as.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy to say too, but it is.
Aquaman.
Shit bed.
Yeah, it's bad.
The shit bed
Pretty
movie.
bad.
This movie is just an excuse for fucking white ladies to look at Jason Momoa for 2.5 hours.
There's also like a hilarious count by how many scenes gets just interrupted by explosions. There's like 6 of them, like where it
Literally,
happens.
you would think
There's like a whole
you would think
montage of
it's
it. It's
directed.
hilarious. Michael
You would
Bay.
think it would be directed by Michael Bay, but like, fuck, dude.
I would put it in D because there's some like visual qualities to it that
Yeah,
I really like.
I
Like
was
it's
about
fun
to
to
say
look
Yeah.
that.
at sometimes, which is cool.
Yeah, some of the underwater scene when he's fighting like the kraken looking thing was
Right.
kind of cool to look at,
The octopus is
and
playing the drums, got some
yeah,
environmental.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was awesome. And like I will say, like the lava under the water fight was pretty cool. Where Patrick, what's his name, Patrick Wilson, where his character was
Patrick Warburton.
when he was going for the those like crab people, and they had like the lava fight thing. That was pretty good.
I'm also
CGI,
not
but the
really
rest of
sure
it was
about
not
this.
good.
Has always been a pet peeve of mine with this movie, but like the costume design looks pretty bad, and also the
It
de aging on Jason Momoa
here's
is
the thing.
no, it's not even de aging. It's a different actor, but he's horrible. Like
Dude,
I don't know if you've
let me.
ever noticed, but those flashback sequences that's supposed to
Oh,
be
I know what you're talking
Aquaman, dude,
about. Yeah.
he is. I don't know where they got this actor from, but they need to take him back.
My main problem is this movie suffers from them straying too far away from comic accuracy, and I'm not one to like fucking hold a goddamn like magnifying glass up to the comic and then the movie and judge it like so critically. But like Jason Momoa doesn't fit any sort of Aquaman aesthetic in any
No,
capacity.
Aquaman
I
always
think
looked goofy as fuck. That's his whole thing.
not like Jason Momoa.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Okay. So yeah, I was like he kind of was like the Flash underwater and like a little bit more serious in a way. But like the Jason Momoa, like he's not bad. Like I like Jason Momoa a lot. But like, fuck,
Also, they
dude.
play
Like,
Toto in the movie, so they can fuck off.
yeah.
I'm going D tier. I'm gonna say worse than Iron Man 2 because I probably prefer Iron Man 2 personally.
Yeah, I do. That's fair.
Avengers Endgame. This is an interesting one.
This is a movie that I have really like.
Mixed feelings. Me too.
I used to I went from feeling this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life to being like this
Yeah,
and
it's good.
Infinity War can't be separated, and then I went to being like the whole time travel gimmick's kind of weird.
Yep. That's
Like
my
I think
biggest issue with it, and it's an hour of it.
we've talked about this before, you and I, but just to reiterate, the reason I think that this movie does so well with people, and the reason why whenever you talk about it and bring up any sort of negative connotation to this movie, you're like it's like that's when they throw the pitchforks. But the reason why is because this movie is kind of like a reverse Marvel trope. Marvel movies usually suffer from the third act not doing as well, the ending not performing as well as the middle and the first. But this movie excels
Yeah,
on
in
that
the
last
third
40
act. Yep.
the last 45 minutes to an hour is some of the best MCU we've ever seen. But like the beginning was kind of slow. It was very dark and depressing. I know that they were trying to go for that. And that was
I was
fine.
gonna say I
It
like the
wasn't bad.
beginning. My
wasn't bad, but it was really slow for a little while, and the whole time travel thing just felt like
it
a
hurts the pacing
complete.
tremendously.
Yeah, it hurts the pacing,
And
and
it's
it
one
just
of
felt
those
like a
things.
complete fucking excuse.
It's one of
Like,
those things
how
too,
are we gonna make
where
this
just
make
like
sense?
how hyper specific the time travel sequences were, like going back to the beginning
Yeah,
of the first Guardians or going to the New York City fight in Avengers. It's like, all right, like you feel the movie trying to get the audience to be like, oh yeah, look, I remember that. It's like this Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's like pointing at the TV in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
yeah,
It's that whole thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just
Yep,
like
yep,
it
yep,
feels
yep,
like
yep, yep.
bait. And I don't know, it's just in a movie like this, especially after Infinity War, that element is disappointing. However,
They
as you said, that third act is so strong that it does make up for it. I just
Yeah.
don't think, I don't know. I would
The
I'd go
the
bottom of
point that
B or top of, or sorry,
but the
bottom of A, top of B.
but the point that I was trying to make originally with the whole why they pulled up the pitchforks at you when you talk bad about it is because when you leave a movie, your opinion is elevated higher because of what you just left on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people look at that last bit of an Endgame and are like, "That's the best shit I've ever seen." How could you say anything bad about it? It's like because everything leading up to it was kind of fucking poorly paced and felt like they had to put it in there or else it would have made no sense.
And
bro,
adding time travel in
I
any movie is always just it can be an
Yeah,
issue more times than
time
not.
travel has
You're just
always
asking
been
for
one of my
plot holes all over the place.
it's always been my least
it,
favorite gimmick, and that goes to all types of media. I hate time travel.
Go ahead, sir.
so I got two things for Endgame. One, I don't think many people were really thinking about the end of that movie when they left the theaters, because I know I didn't, because I had to pee really fucking bad after
Yeah,
watching
it's
that
a
movie.
long movie.
Holy shit. Oh, I had to. I rushed out of that freaking theater to go pee. Holy. And then the whole thing with the time travel and leaving the plot holes. It was a very weird thing, but they did that by design, so they can springboard that into the current problems that we have in the MCU now.
They only did that with one thing, and it was Loki. Everything else they never went back on. They're not going to have to. If they were, they would have talked about it now or by now. But they specifically did that whole thing with Loki so that they could make the series about him. That was it though.
I
And they
mean,
had Loki, which led to Quantumania, which
Kind
I don't
of.
even know what that shit was. It kind of led to Multiverse of Madness.
No, it didn't. We don't know that. We don't know if any of that's connected in any capacity.
I don't know. Where are y'all feeling about tiering it?
I would say top of B, bottom A.
I would
I'm good
throw
with
it in.
top
I
of
would
B.
throw it in A.
Okay. We'll put it bottom of A.
Bottom A is good,
Yeah.
but it is an
But
A movie.
at the end of the day, that last hour was so good. And
Yeah.
it did feel like a good ending, and that mattered more
Phenomenal
to me
ending.
than the rest of it. I feel like the ending of Endgame, it had to be good for it to
For everything
any
to
of the
stick,
rest of
yeah.
it to matter. Yeah. 'Cause,
Possibly,
I'm okay.
it was possibly one of the best ways to end a continuation of events in relation to like a superhero movie, especially like with the era of MCU at the time.
Okay, so Adam West's Batman is this one?
I never
Have
watched
y'all
Adam
seen
West.
this? Okay, so I have,
I
and
barely
it
remember this
is
shit.
it is very 60s, like very 60s,
Oh, so racist.
Yeah.
Got it.
in a way that if you watch it again, I'm gonna put it bottom of D just because it has this like charm to it because of its era.
D
That
for racism.
yeah, there you go.
Okay. It was in the 60s. Okay. So Batman, but
Um,
civil rights.
have y'all seen Batman and Robin?
Yeah, but
I have seen
I
Batman
don't
and Robin.
care.
Okay, so we know where it goes. It's one of the worst movies ever, hands down.
Okay,
Remember
Like,
I
it's
I
remember the
thought
goofy.
it.
costumes. The
I thought it
costumes are
was. I thought it
horrible.
was great bad. I thought it was funny bad.
I'm with you, but on a tier
Kind
list
of.
like this, like
It's.
there's just no way that I'm giving
This
it
is
credit.
this is a movie that Charlie would drool over, like Moist Critical would drool over, because it's so awesomely bad.
Slip and slide.
was-
There's just so many, and dude, all the goofy ass Mr. Freeze jokes, man. Oh my god, it's
It's-
like the amount of
bro,
ice
Arnold
puns that are made
Schwarzenegger
in this
as-
movie is a disgrace.
You might want a jacket. It's gonna get a little cold in here.
Yeah, like, dude, oh my god. I just can't believe, like, yeah, I can't believe this movie actually
It's so
happened.
it's
like,
just
this was a
it's just
real
so
thing.
funny bad. It's
But I'm
so
glad
good.
it did. I'm glad it did. It's bottom of F, but it deserves some
a
respect,
little
I
bit
guess.
a little bit of off topic, just. But if you guys want to see
putting
the
it at the
most
top of F 'cause
funny
it's-
bad movie, the biggest funny horrible movie like this, it's not funny bad. It's hilarious horrible.
Mhm.
Go watch Moonfall, please.
Oh no. Okay, I
Moonfall
watched
was-
Charlie's
dude,
video on that shit.
It streams on HBO, so if you have HBO Max, you can watch it. But good lord, does that movie make so little sense? But it's fucking so funny because of how serious they take it. Like, that movie tries to take itself so seriously, but you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? This shit makes zero fucking sense. But anyways, back on topic.
Batman
Okay.
Begins.
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins is
B for
Ooh,
Begins.
The
Just
beginning
kidding.
to one of the best trilogies.
Batman Begins is so good.
It is really good.
I-
I think it's kind of.
We-
I think it's underrated. It kind of because
It is. I think at this point it is. Because
Yeah, it does.
you got to keep
it's
in mind, too,
underrated.
that this is like a pre-MCU. Like, this is, what, 2005?
This is
So the
2005,
only
2006. Yeah.
at this point genuinely good comic book movies, other than, I guess you can make an argument for Superman 2 and the original in the 70s, but realistically the only ones at this point are Raimi Spider-Man movies.
And
So
Blade.
and this is
Batman Begins
distinctly
released in
different than
05, yeah.
that.
The Blade.
I'm not gonna
movies
lie.
are
This
up there,
this is
too.
the only superhero that I got the poster put on a cake
Oh yeah.
for one of my
Like
birthdays.
this visual right here is like
yeah, that
yeah.
one, that exact one,
it's like
that exact one too.
I would go A with it. I think
It's a straight A.
100%.
I'm cool with
A-
that.
A for Begins.
Hey,
Jesus.
we're descending.
Batman
too
Forever.
I
Batman
I never
Forever.
watched Batman
Forever.
Forever.
Okay, so like Jim Carrey's the Riddler in this, and you get some entertainment for that, but maybe not for the right reasons. It's also kind of goofy bad. It's not as bad as Batman and Robin, but it's still pretty bad. Joey, have you seen it?
I saw like the first half before I turned it off.
Okay, so yeah, I would, I'd put it right next to its friend here in F tier. They can sit together in the.
All right, now we get to go through all the Batman reboots.
Batman Returns is pretty good. I
eh.
like DeVito's Penguin a
This-
lot.
This movie just.
Oh, this was
screams
this
mid.
one.
I think it's better than mid. I think it's 100% better than mid. I think it's almost. I mean,
Christopher
89's better, but it's not that much better.
Christopher Walken played Max Shrek in that movie.
I'm gonna give it at least deserves C.
That's fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
fine, man.
oh, this is the one with the first Catwoman. Okay, that's this one.
I mean, the best part about this movie is definitely Danny DeVito, 100%. But
It's the best part of everything he's in.
I like Keaton's Batman a lot. He's good here. Doesn't have obviously the novelty
Michelle
that 89 does, but
we get to see him again in on next Friday.
Ayo.
so Batman 89 is great. I would probably go B with it. I could go A, but I don't know.
I'd say
Have,
Michael
y'all, have any of
Keaton
y'all seen
Batman.
this?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. But it's been a while.
I've seen the Joker scene, and that's about it.
Right. By the way, Jack Nicholson's Joker, great, really great, and
It's very crime boss Joker-ish, rather than maniac Joker.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's why it works. Is it's so like same thing with Joaquin, where it's like they're all the Joker, but they play it so differently that they're all good for their own reasons. I mean, obviously, I think we can agree Heath is the best, but they're all great
Yeah.
for their own
R.I.P.
reasons.
R.I.P. the
And
legend.
also, this is just a great '80s movie, and that's one of my favorite eras in general for anything entertainment, and it just embodies it very well. So I always kind of love it for that as well.
Oh,
cemented
this is
in
the
my-
this is the golden age Batman. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. It definitely isn't, but it's still
No.
Golden Age
It's
Batman
it's
is- Dark
it's
Knight
referred
trilogy.
to no. So in the movie the movie's um I'm trying to remember what the terminology for this is. Like every like in Hollywood, there's an era associated with like a certain time frame of movies, and one of them is referred to as Golden Age. I can't remember which one that is.
Golden
Yeah,
Age of
I'm
cinema
not
is
sure.
probably it could be 40s.
Golden Age was
But
30s to 48 was Golden Age.
Yeah, okay.
Never mind.
That sounds right. Um,
what the fuck?
Batman versus Superman. The
Oh
Ultimate Cut
god.
makes it a little better, but it's still a bad
Dude,
movie.
Batman versus Superman is false advertisement. It's not. It's not Batman. It's not Batman versus Superman. It's Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman versus Doomsday.
Well, no, only in the
Yeah, true.
only in the last 30 minutes though, where they just shoeborn that fight in after
Talk
a
talk
bunch
about
of nonsense.
shoehorning.
Dude, he fucking.
It's the most
dude,
unnecessary extension to an ending I've ever seen. I'm like,
Dude,
bro, okay, we're not done.
the
We're doing this.
writing, dude, the fucking writing was so
It's so bad.
Fucking,
And
There's
that's the
no way
worst
you
part
start.
about this though, is that
There,
it takes itself so seriously that you can't even just like laugh at how
it's
bad or
so
cheesy it is.
dumb,
It
you
just
there's
know?
it thinks it's
there is
way
no
cooler
way.
than it is.
There is no
The
way you
Bond.
start a war
Oh my
between
God.
two superheroes that decimates a city because someone said Martha. There's
Yeah,
no way.
That's what I was about to say.
It's
I was about
ridiculous.
to say that shit, dude.
Like that really like they all watched that in a press screening, right? And they're like, yeah, that's still fun.
Dude, what
Like
the fuck
nobody
is
was like,
Yep,
hey
that's the
guys,
one.
this is kind of like the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. How about we like rewrite this a little bit?
so dumb.
But no,
I don't know. Love and Thunder came out.
Dude,
True.
fucking,
It
dude,
did.
how are you gonna make a title for a movie? The title is gonna be completely wrong.
Wasn't this supposed to rival Civil War at the time too?
Yeah.
I don't probably like,
Yep.
but fuck.
And it
dude.
made everybody
Dude,
think
early,
Civil War was so much better than it was because they compared
like
it to this piece of
2000
shit.
True.
Tens.
So true.
Like the 2010s of DC were fucking like
It was
garbage.
rough. It was rough.
Bro, they saw that Batman Begins and that trilogy did so well that they didn't know how to act.
Dude, wasn't 2011 when fucking Green Lantern came out?
Oh,
Yeah,
do we really need to
but-
talk about Green Lantern?
Oh, it's good.
We,
We don't.
we might
We
might
are.
have to.
We're about to get there. Not
Bro,
about, but it's in
Bro,
here.
Disney approved what we Disney approved the gag of Ryan Reynolds shooting himself as he's accepting the role to play Green Lantern. They
Oh, yeah.
greenlit that.
Yeah.
They know. They know.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
He knows. Ryan fucking Reynolds knows.
Do you guys want to go? Do you guys want to go D or F with Batman vs Superman? I'm okay with either.
I gotta
F.
put it in F because
Okay.
they lied.
He straight up lied.
Um,
They fucking lied to us.
Big Hero 6. I'm not. I mean, it's fine.
B for big.
I'd go C.
I would-
It's
yeah.
fine.
B for Big Hero 6.
I put it in B. I put it in B tier. Like realistically, like really good soundtrack, great concept. The characters were likable. It was great for the time as well. Like it fits. Baymax is such a classic character.
It has one of the worst, most like egregious quote unquote twist in any movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, I understand that, and that's okay. But at the same time, it's like I did really enjoy it. I really like the soundtrack.
I guess
There's
I
worse.
guess.
There's worse twists, I think, than the one that they had at the end of that movie.
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, they didn't try to make it unpredictable. It's just I
I
did
don't know.
enjoy the movie.
I remember thinking that Baymax was like the only reason this movie needed to exist, and everything else was
I
whatever.
like the Baymax and the whole the montage of him making the suits and stuff like that was really fun to me. And I like seeing
Good.
them use it. Like the characters were really fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. So
The original
I mean,
Black
realis-
Panther.
A.
This is an A tier for sure.
Really?
Well, arguably, yeah, arguably
Yes.
the best. Arguably one of the best MCU.
I don't think it's
villains.
better than Iron Man 3. Not a shot.
I think it is.
I think it is. Yeah.
All right.
It's
The,
not
the
like-
only thing I
it's
didn't
a-
like about it was the villain. That's the only thing I didn't like.
What?
The villain.
The villain's the
what?
best part about
No,
it.
no, no. The white villain, not
Andy
Killmonger.
Serkis? Claw?
Yeah.
Oh, Claw.
I like
Yeah,
Andy Serkis a
yeah.
lot, so I didn't mind.
I like Andy Serkis.
Let me tell you
but
why I would not put
understand
this
it's
in
not
A.
Claw.
There's a couple reasons. I agree. I think it's good. The first reason being no movie that has CG and some of the most ugliest, jarring visual effects of anything on here, as in that final fight sequence on the train. I mean, that scene where they're falling and fighting looks like it came out of Spider-Man 3, and that is not a compliment. And secondly, the plot of this movie's fine, but it really is The Lion King, like beat for beat. The plot, like straight up.
I hate that.
But you
Yeah.
hate it, but it's real. Like it's just so accurate, and I'm like,
I like The Lion King though.
it's a good movie. Yeah, of course. Like it's a good movie, but like I don't know. Iron Man 3 does way more for me in terms of character development, in terms of I don't know, anything to like latch onto. Black Panther I think is just a good time. And some of the writing is not great either. Like the what are those lines? Stuff like that just not going to age well. It hasn't aged well now. It's definitely not going to age well 10 years from now. And I don't know. I would go B for sure.
I mean, but the nightclub scene was really good.
I mean,
like
better than
the beginning
X2?
was really good.
Like
Oh,
I don't
we did put
know.
X2 and B, huh?
I just
Yeah.
like more of the character. I like the characters more in this movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like Chadwick Boseman, like his first like MCU like solo film, like that shit was clean as fuck. It was so good. The design of the characters were really good. Fucking Killmonger killed it. Like absolutely nailed this role. Fucking Michael B.
All right.
Jordan was amazing.
So I guess y'all are A.
I mean, I'd be okay with top of B. I'm
Okay.
cool with
Top
that.
of B and or A, low A.
Okay, we'll do that.
I think I'm
You know,
pretty sure this movie's in my top 10 MCU or top
What the
15.
hell is this?
Blade 2.
I love Black
Oh, it's
Panther.
the Flash movie. Oh god.
Blade 2 was good. Here's the thing, like we gotta put some respect on Blade because
Yep.
if Blade didn't perform as well as it did in the 90s, we wouldn't have the MCU today. They're literally the sole reason why the Marvel didn't go bankrupt. Completely.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good.
In this time, yeah, they're pretty good. They're really good.
They hold up
Wesley
decently
Snipes
well,
was
not gonna
amazing.
lie.
They really do. Yeah.
Well, they is
I
in
do
1 and
think
2.
the third one was probably the worst.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we don't talk about Blade.
We'll get there.
But Blade 1 was the best. Blade 2 was a close second.
I actually prefer 2, to be
Really?
honest.
I think Blade 1 was there.
I think they're
Blade
both
like.
pretty close, but I definitely prefer 2.
But yeah, this was around the time that Marvel was selling the rights of characters. Like this movie kept Marvel afloat enough to be able to get some of those characters back.
You think B tier's?
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all drive this because I have never watched any of the Blade
All right,
movies.
we'll go B tier with 2. We'll go
B for Blade.
F with 3, and then we'll go.
Yeah, 3 was fucking
3
horrible.
is terrible, and then we'll go B with 1, 2. I think that's fair.
All
B
right,
for Blade.
Cool.
All right. First Avenger, very underrated as well. First Avenger's a lot of fun.
Steve for Captain America.
Fucking classic. No.
First Avenger, I feel like doesn't get the respect it deserves. I mean, there's just I don't know. It's one of those movies that just has such a good energy to it. It's built like a blockbuster. It feels nostalgic in a lot of ways. They did a good job.
I just realized what we're talking about. You said the first Avengers. I thought you meant like the first Avengers movie, like Avengers 1.
Oh no, we already talked about that one.
Caleb said
A for Avengers.
Caleb said Captain America. C for Captain America. Then I was like, wait. I get it.
Maybe the meme was useful in that situation.
Yeah, I usually just refer to as Cap 1 or Captain America 1 or whatever. Because like you also gotta realize Civil War was Captain America 3.
Yeah,
I guess technically it shouldn't be.
This is the only Captain America movie where I can actually go back and watch it and enjoy the experience still.
Wow.
Are you dead ass? Over Winter Soldier?
I didn't like some of the things from Winter Soldier, to be honest.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
All
Hold
right,
on.
we'll get that later. Yeah.
We gotta hold that. First Avenger's a lot of fun, and I think Red Skull's an underrated villain.
This is if Iron Man 3 was the most underrated MCU movie, this was a very close second.
Yeah, that's what I think. Those are the two that come to mind. People say underrated.
Yeah,
I'd go B tier with it.
Enough respect at all. I'm cool with B. Yeah, Red Skull was
B
fun.
for Bucky because he dies.
I like Bucky. No, he does not. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Stop, man. Still doing me dirty today, bro. You do me too dirty. Not only are you dissing on my boy Bucky, But you have the audacity to say you didn't want. Okay, all right, we'll get there.
Winter Soldier.
This is my favorite MCU solo film, or
I
one
think
of.
I think Winter Soldier's phenomenal. I
Winter
think that
Soldier is
I always
excellent.
say the reason I love this movie is because this is the closest we'll get to a Metal Gear Solid movie.
Absolutely, dude. The espionage,
True.
It is
the
so
twists,
cool.
the fight scenes, like the CG was great. Like the characters, the dialogue,
Great
like
plot
this.
too. Like
And
actual
another reason,
political consequence. Like
yeah.
it's
And the
more
reason,
sophisticated than Marvel's typically willing to go in terms
yeah.
of a
And
plot.
this
So
movie also introduced the Falcon, and it made Black Widow's character
I was gonna
actually
say,
really good.
yep. This and Endgame are her two best movies in my head for her
sure, yeah.
performances.
For
But
sure.
yeah,
Oh,
Winter
we'll
Soldier
get to the other
gives
one.
Nick
Was
Fury's also great.
Wasn't
in
this movie the one where they introduced a villain that was actually pretty decent in the comics, but they like massacred him in the first 2 seconds of the movie?
I don't think
know.
so. No,
I don't think
because
so.
I think
no.
this movie opens up with the boat, if I remember. No, it opens up with him jogging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, which movie? Which movie is the one where they open up with the? It's not the Avengers, but no, that might be Age of Ultron. I'm thinking of.
Infinity
Where they kill
killed Loki, right?
Crossbones.
Oh. Yeah, that's probably it.
No, Infinity War. No, not Infinity War. It was Age of Ultron. Yeah, Age of Ultron. Where they killed Crossbones.
So,
yeah, that fucking dude.
But, yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Never mind.
Crossbones was. I hate to convolute this more, but Crossbones was Civil War.
Oh wait,
Was
he
Crossbones
really?
Civil War?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was. He
Oh,
was
it was Civil War.
It was because that was the whole like Avengers thing and the.
That's the reason why the whole Arcadia Accords came in.
No, the Sokovia. No, that was Avengers.
Sokovian Accords.
Ultron was because the Sokovia. That was the whole town that got lifted up into the.
I know, no. I know, but that's the reason. But like they didn't bring up the Accords until the next movie, which was Civil War.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well,
and they killed Crossbones in the beginning.
Yeah, what happened there didn't help because it was the fucking when Scarlet Witch was trying to contain the gas and she couldn't hold it, and then what? No, it was because fucking what's his name, Crossbones fucking Allahu Akbar and fucking destroyed like the surrounding area and then.
All right, we got to get back on topic. We have a lot of movies left.
Sorry.
Winter Soldier is S tier.
This is an S tier for me.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm going S. For me. Cerna.
Like.
Cerna, are you with S or do you have any?
Shit. I mean, we could leave it there. I don't really have much to say about it.
Okay.
I think I watched it once and I don't remember watching it.
It's probably worth a rewatch. It's very good.
Surprising. Here's my thing. I know the entire plot of the movie. I remember watching it. I just don't remember like watching it. You know what I mean? Fair like enough. You watch the movie, you know the plot, but you don't remember like nothing really like shoots to you when you think of like why do I like this movie?
I think of the elevator scene when I think of why I like this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I forgot the elevator scene was in this one.
This movie, that's what I'm saying. You should go rewatch it. Just experience it again. Just look for shit you didn't notice the first time. Like it's worth it.
I guess F tier.
I'm
F
not.
tier immediately.
I wouldn't go F tier with Captain Marvel. Personally.
F tier. I hate the character. I hate the actor. I hate the movie. Get the shit out of here. It's F tier.
This movie has slightly grown on me. I used to be like that, but it's slightly grown on me because I looked at this movie for what it was, and I realized I was taking my hatred of fucking Captain Marvel and Brie Larson out on the rest of the movie. Jude Law does a great job. Samuel L. Jackson does a great job. Ben Mendelsohn does a great job. Like the rest of the cast does a great job, and it's not fair to like bring the whole movie down because Brie Larson's character is the same thing.
This movie at no point.
Cracker.
At no point in this movie does it become offensive enough for it to be F tier. Honestly,
nah.
Like it's probably D tier for being honest, but
it's just
it's really not that bad.
I have never seen a character go through. I've never seen a main character of a movie go through negative growth until I saw this movie.
And it's not.
And me personally, you can't have that as your main character cannot have negative growth through their movie.
It's the fact that she's bland. She doesn't do anything like special at all.
No, the only thing special about her was removed because it was just a lie.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I like the scroll concept a lot, and I think that's what holds this movie up for the most part. And like Joey
yeah.
said, some of the performances. I also thought some of the flight stuff was interesting. I don't know. This movie's it's just forgettable. That's I guess the worst part about it is it just doesn't stick out in any way. It's
Yeah,
just fine.
I'm cool with bottom of D.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate as well. This can just go
Yeah.
right in F, and we can move on.
It's like the first actual Catwoman movie. It's unfortunate, but it's an F tier.
Chronicles on here. That's
Um,
interesting.
I
what is
loved
that?
When
Chronicle.
did Chronicle come
Chronicle was
out?
the movie.
Oh wait.
2010, I think.
Okay, thank you,
I
thank you.
think it was 2010. So, Cerna to reiterate. So, Chronicle was the movie with this one also had Michael B. Jordan in it. Um, uh, there was another like white dude, and then the other guy was the same. He was the actor that played
Oh no,
the
this
Green
movie! I
Goblin.
loved this movie.
Yeah,
I loved
Chronicle was
this movie.
great. Chronicle was
This was
really,
it
really
to me.
good.
This was like a hidden gem movie because I don't remember people talking about it, but it was such a good
Yeah.
movie.
This movie
Yeah.
fucking was awesome for me. Like the very ending scene where he's fighting in the plaza with the statue, and he's like becoming that apex predator that he talked about the whole movie.
Yeah.
And his cousin, one of the other main characters, was like on the ground, like begging him to stop. And I think the performance in this movie goes underrated because like he actually looked in that moment. It's like you think like it's a movie they're acting, but like he looked like he gave a shit like so much in that movie. Like the whole like scene, the cinematography of the camera shaking and the police all around, the glass breaking, just everything. They gave you so many different angles and views, and then the scene of him breaking the statue and throwing that spear right through him and ending him in that moment. And they just you can see so much, like so many forms of conflict, the external conflict, the internal conflict of the character. It all encapsulated that one scene, and it was so well done. And for a
So
movie in 2010 to like go this far without any like real like talk is weird to me.
I agree. It's a really
and
good
by the way,
movie.
it didn't release in 2012 or 2010. It released in
Yeah.
2012.
Oh shit.
Two things. One, it's a really good
Yeah.
movie. I agree. Actually, three things. Two, I also remember this being pretty short, if I
It was
remember
short. It was like an
correctly.
hour and a half.
Yeah,
It was like
which
an
I
hour and a
think
half.
worked in the movie's favor. And then thirdly, I want to just add that the director of this, I thought I remember this right. I looked it up just to be sure, but um,
This was
his next
Spielberg,
movie,
right? Isn't it?
no, it's Josh Trank. His next
Oh.
movie was Van Stick. So lol.
Oh damn.
Yeah. I'd go.
Wait, which movie?
I could go.
It's we call it Fan Four Stick, but it was the reboot of the
Oh,
Fantastic Four
It was
with fucking
horrible.
with what's his name? God damn it. It had Michael B. Jordan in it as well. But
Mhm.
as
We have it.
Human
It's right
Torch.
here
Yep, there it is.
in all its glory.
It's
Okay.
fucking-
Fan four stickers.
Yeah,
I see it now.
yeah.
Actually, let's just go ahead and take care of it so we can just,
F
Fan 4 6 sucks.
Yeah, F for and F for Fan Four
Are we
Stick.
good with B for Chronicles?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't. No,
it
I'll put that
D?
A.
Really?
A tier is
No, he
really
said
high.
B. B Chronicle,
B.
but A.
Yeah,
I put it
think
A.
A tier is a bit high. I would say like middle of B, top of B.
Yeah,
But this
I
movie did
agree.
do a great job.
I don't know if I could put
It
it.
might
like,
might be
putting
it might
next
be
to Batman
because I
Begins
think
is
of
crazy.
Chronicle. I think the reason why I say A is because I do revere it to as my hidden gem of like hero-esque movies.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
So-
Well, B is very respectable. I mean, these are B
B,
is really
yeah,
good.
looking at B,
Yeah.
it looks good. Like B doesn't sound like it's awesome, but then you're looking at what's in B,
like a
and it's like,
lot
oh,
of-
that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
The
There's a
average
lot of good
person-
movies in here.
I think the average person looks at B and like thinks B is like mid tier, but that's not the case in any capacity. B means great.
I agree.
And A is outstanding.
C
and
is
S
serviceable. D is
yeah.
mediocre. F is trash. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah.
Speaking
F
of
for
trash,
fuck.
What's
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Oh, was this the movie Daredevil
Yep.
with fucking Ben Affleck?
Yep.
God, fuck.
Hollywood
I
really
don't even
didn't
wanna
get
talk
it
about it.
in the early 2000s,
No,
did they?
I haven't
They really
seen
just
it.
didn't. They
I don't
didn't
even want to
understand.
talk about it, dog.
Yeah, it's
I
bad.
really don't.
You don't need to. You're not
Just throw
missing.
it.
So we're throwing the next two movies in at least A tier, right?
Dark Knight Rises, I don't love, to be honest.
This
And
Rises was the one with Bane, right?
Yeah, and I don't blame. I
Yeah.
don't necessarily blame Nolan or anybody for this not being great because Heath Ledger's passing very much made them rewrite
Yeah.
this because he
It
was supposed to
it
be
was a
in that movie.
similar- yeah,
So
it
they
was a
had to work
similar
around a
effect.
lot, and I imagine a short amount of time.
It was a similar effect to Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. So I do cut it some slack, but
It's just I don't know. I feel like
it's
of the
not
three,
great.
this is the most like this is the one that feels the longest. This is the one that feels its length. Where
It
it's
does
like
drag.
the
Mm.
pacing isn't great. The plot
Yeah.
is definitely the least interesting of the three, and there's definitely a lot of great moments. Obviously, many of them involving Bane. A great opening as well in the
Yeah.
airplane. Also, for whatever reason, Bane's voice sounds like shit in this movie, and that's mainly because I've learned that Nolan can't mix for shit anything. I don't know what it is with him, and I don't like
It
Bane
sounded.
sounds like he's recording in a completely different room than everyone
It sounds
else.
like he's talking through a Pringles tube.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah, but
it's like
that's the charm of him,
the
though,
school
man.
announcements. It sounds like it's coming from a fucking intercom when he's speaking, and I
Yeah.
can't get with it.
That's the
Yeah.
charm of
I
it
I would
for
go.
me.
It's different though. It's like the way it sounds is
I
bad.
could
It's not
go.
that.
I don't know. I want to put it in B, but then I think most of the movies in B are better than it,
It
to be
is.
honest.
I'd say top of C.
So yeah,
Would you? Okay.
Cerna, do you have a strong objection?
Uh,
Feel free.
I think it's higher, but I mean, you bring up some good points.
Mm.
I don't know. I like one of the big problems about it is like that y'all brought up was Bane's voice. I personally enjoyed it because it was the charm of the character.
Mm.
It was the big beefy dude with the more sophisticated voice.
It's not that we have a problem with like his character and the way his voice is. It's just the way that they produced it.
Yeah,
It
I was
just
gonna
didn't
say it's
sound
more
right.
it's more
Yeah.
of the like the voice has a
Yeah.
cool like aesthetic to it. I
Yeah.
just wish it was mixed better because it sounds
Yeah.
like he's quieter than everyone else, and it's just like it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
know.
I like Bane's character in the way that they like the way that his character's voice is supposed to be. I like that. It's just in the movie when they produce the sound of his voice, like where they mix everybody else's in, it's not as good. And you can notice a difference in quality of sound.
Also, I want
And
to
Did they
add
did
that
they ever remaster this movie or no?
no.
no, they didn't. I want to add that um the original two, they did like a really good job of making it feel as grounded as it could be in the sense of like I don't want to say that it could happen, but at the same time it kind of could happen, you know? But this movie they kind of throw that out. Like literally one scene in this movie, a football field is getting like torn in half by a fucking earthquake, and it's just it's a
It wasn't
lot.
an earthquake. I thought wasn't it
Well, I'm saying, but
like
like
the
like
mass shock effect of
yeah,
bombs blowing up underneath it?
it is, but I'm just saying like the effects of it makes it look like an earthquake. How it's literally splitting apart in half. Like I don't know.
Oh,
It's a little much for a
I don't
series
know.
that typically like does a good job of threading that needle of still being fantasy in a sense, but also very grounded at the same time.
It's fantasy in the sense that why would they shove a city or a football field right in the middle of the city like that?
Right.
That's my opinion.
Fair enough.
And then
Was it the Dark Knight now?
Yeah. I don't think we need
Oh
to.
yeah.
I mean,
No,
come on,
no.
come on, guys.
get it up
Yeah.
there. Let's
Come on.
go. S for Dark
One of,
Knight.
if not the best performances of all time in Heath Ledger.
Easily.
Two-Face
Wasn't he
is
the
great in this movie.
only villain to ever actually get an Oscar for his performance?
He didn't get an Oscar for it. He should have, but he didn't.
No, I thought he did. I thought it was like a posthumous award.
Did they give it to him?
Yeah, I think they did. I thought it was a posthumous
Let me look it
award.
up real quick. Be sure.
I'm almost positive. If it wasn't an Oscar, it was something else. I think I can't remember, but I remember Heath Ledger getting something.
Okay, yeah, he did. He won Best Supporting Actor for Dark Knight. Good.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
and that should be
that was
undisputable because
respect.
that's an all-time performance.
he
Everybody loves
died
that.
after the release, or
Yeah.
he died. Didn't he die after production and before release?
Yes, he did.
So
Yeah.
People say that he didn't even see the full movie before he passed, which is unfortunate. Rest in peace.
That's unfortunate.
But yeah, also one of the best maybe the best opening to any movie ever. That bank heist sequence at the beginning is 10 out of 10, top tier.
Yeah.
The original Deadpool.
I fucking love Deadpool, dude.
Deadpool.
Like the thing that Deadpool does for me, that I think that it does well with a lot of other people, is similar to Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man. Is that I don't think there's a single human on the fucking planet that could play Deadpool better than Ryan Reynolds does, and that helps a ton.
Oh,
Like,
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, that's one of the
yeah,
born to play type
the
situations. Like you
writing
can't.
was incredible. Some of the fighting was really good. It's just this movie was so fun to watch that I didn't really care to look at anything that I thought was wrong with it. It was just so fun to watch. It was
So
really, really well done.
I know I'm in the minority here. I'm gonna accept that. I like Deadpool. I don't love it, and I think the reason I don't love it is the reason most people love it, where this movie, and I know it's intentional, but it just feels like it's trying really hard. And when it's funny, but when it's not, it's kind of egregious. So I go through like a conflicting thing when I watch it, where it's like there's times that I love it and there's times that I just hate it. And o- overall, I think it's pretty good. I definitely don't love it to the extent that everyone else does, for sure. But I know I'm in the minority on that. Joey, where do you want to put this on a tier list?
I mean, I don't really agree with what you. I think that it's
Well, you can't agree with me
really
saying
real.
it's not for me. That's literally what I'm saying.
I disagree. I think it is for you. You're just not opening your mind to it.
I
There it is.
definitely disagree with that.
You love this movie. You
You have an
sound
opinion and
crazy
it's
right now.
wrong. Fix
Yeah,
it.
you love this movie, bro. You tell me all the time about how much you love this
I didn't
movie.
ask for your opinion on what I said. I asked for where you wanted on the tier list.
Yeah, but
You asked
you
for an opinion
sound
on your opinion.
crazy
That's what
right
you asked
now.
for.
I asked where do you want to put it on the tier list.
I want it in probably top of B or bottom A. I love this
But
movie.
it is a very strong A B.
It's very rewatchable to me too. Like I could watch this movie a whole bunch of times
I'll
without being
put it
upset
top
about
of
it.
B.
I'll put top B.
Yeah,
That's fine.
it
Um,
is for you though, Caleb.
Doctor Strange.
What? B for Deadpool.
Doctor Strange. This is another one of my personal favorites in the MCU. I
I
absolutely love Doctor Strange. I think that Benedict Cumberbatch was the best possible fucking choice for this role as well. Wong is
yeah.
goaded. I think the start to this movie is also really cool with the whole like mirror dimension battle sequence with the Ancient One and then Caecilius and then Caecilius going to the fucking library and literally chopping a dude's head off. Like that was really cool to see,
I am
especially in the current, especially in the era of the MCU.
I am
Like
a
I loved it.
sucker for very very well done visual effects,
Yeah, and this
Yeah,
movie
and
this
does
this
that
movie
is
very
probably
this
well.
the
movie
Yeah.
killed
best
it.
visual effects movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, this movie killed it within the visuals department and CG, and the whole like Dormammu have come to bargain sequence was really cool as well.
The fucking the dark dimension in this
Yeah, Dark Dimension
movie
was trippy
was
as fuck.
so good.
Yeah, it was
So
trippy.
I'm in agreement for the most part. I like Doctor Strange. I'm just mad. It's one of those movies that I'm mad that I don't love it because it's so close. It's just my really only grievance with it is structurally it's very similar to the first Iron Man, specifically in the first half, which is fine. It's a template that clearly worked, so why fuck with it? But it ends up coming across as more generic than a Doctor Strange movie should. That being said, as you guys said, the visual effects are top tier. I really like a lot of the side characters in this. Um, Great villain as well, creative kind of, I guess, villain defeat there is in these movies, which is nice. Um, I don't know. It's just it's one that I like but I don't love. So I'm cool with B. I don't know like if it should go A.
I
That
can live.
seems like a
Yeah, I can
I
live
can live
with
with
B.
B. I can live with B here because we're putting it with X-Men 2 and
yeah, exactly.
all those movies. Those are good.
I think that's respectable.
That's a good company to be in with them. The original the original series of Fantastic Four. This was movie 2.
These movies, honestly, like I feel
So
like people look at these movies with nostalgia glasses,
I'm gonna
bro.
be
Like these are
honest.
not that good.
If anybody should look at these movies or this movie specifically, the second one, Rise of the Silver Surfer, the reason I know that is because I watched this way too much as a kid for some reason, and even me, who should have
Dude,
nostalgia for it, knows it's bad.
Yeah,
Caleb,
it's not
Caleb,
good.
I had the video game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, me too on the
Remember the
GameCube.
video game?
Yeah.
I didn't have it on GameCube. I had
I can't either had a GameCube or PS2. I can't remember.
I can't remember if I had it on Wii or if I had it on PlayStation. I guess PlayStation 2.
Yeah, it would have been PS2
I
era.
played the shit out of that game. It was so weird. I don't know why I enjoyed this series
So
so much as a
I do
kid.
have some weird like attachment or childhood attachment to these, but rational me knows that it's not great and it probably shouldn't go anywhere higher than D, but it probably should be F. for being real,
Yeah,
and
this
it does
movie's
not hold up. I can assure you.
They're not good.
No, it's not good.
And the
It's
same goes for the
unfortunate.
first one, I think, unless anybody disagrees.
These movies are a reason why I really hope that they don't do a fucking origin story with them in the Fantastic Four MCU. And if the villain better not be fucking Doctor Doom. They better introduce Doctor Doom somewhere else because he's a way bigger villain in Marvel than just a fucking Fantastic Four villain. He matters way more, and especially in Secret Wars.
I didn't understand why Doctor Doom was such a prominent villain in the Fantastic Four series. Like, why? I'm pretty sure there's other villains you could go with for Fantastic Four besides Doctor Doom, but they put him in both of the movies.
Yeah.
These movies are
both
just
of the first movies,
especially today.
The first and
like,
yeah.
Speaking of jarring, I just want to go on a quick Ghost Rider rant real quick because there's these like weird selection of movies that came out in the early 2000s, late 90s era. Like I think of Underworld, I think of those horrible Resident Evil movies that like they come in with this energy that they think they are like the coolest shit, and all it is just horrific CGI and cringy writing. And Ghost Rider fits that bill. Both of them.
Yeah,
I think
but
I've
Ghost
only seen
Rider's
the first one.
but Ghost Rider's an example of just like it's just really cool to me. Like it's fun to look at, fun to watch. I think Ghost Rider is one of my like if we're going on comic book characters, Ghost Riders are my top 5.
Well, conceptually it's great, but what I'm saying is like in the early 2000s they didn't have the technology to make something that should look cool.
Nah,
So it just comes off as like very corny.
It depends.
Well, I don't remember when this one came out. The
Ghost Rider
Spirit of Vengeance. No, because Ghost Rider was 07. Ghost Rider was 07.
Yeah.
Spirit of Vengeance was 2011. Okay.
Wow, was it really that? I don't even know if I saw that one, to be honest. I know I've seen.
I watched it, and I thought it was cool to me that I was one of the few people that actually gave a shit about it and watched it because I thought it was actually a very interesting plot.
Well, which one? Spirit of Vengeance, the second one.
Spirit of Vengeance.
I watched the second one. Yeah, Spirit of Vengeance was cool.
I never thought of having Ghost Rider be a redemption character before, the way that they had for Spirit of Vengeance.
I'll let y'all.
It was actually pretty interesting
because I haven't seen this one. I don't think so. Y'all can tell me what.
So Spirit of Vengeance, the plot for Spirit of Vengeance was, he finally found the devil to give his revenge, like revenge on, because what in Ghost Rider, he ended up having to let him walk away, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, he had to let him walk away. But at some point, Ghost Rider found the devil's son, and he used that as a bargaining chip somehow. Where he's like, I'm just gonna have the son. Yeah, the boy.
Yeah.
And he made it like his mission to go find him, because if the devil had his way with him, he would turn him to Antichrist, and it would doom all of humanity. And that was the whole thing. The MacGuffin was the devil's son.
Yeah, this sounds out of my bounds for sure. There
was some very interesting scenes in it.
Where would y'all put it?
I mean, probably bottom C.
Really? Okay. Better than Iron Man 2?
Yeah. I'll put it C.
Slightly.
Okay.
Slightly, yeah.
The Ghost Rider run, I remember just not liking at all. I was just not in it.
Ghost Rider was cool for it being a cool movie. That's all it was. Like it was cool for the time. It doesn't really age well.
There's more redeemable qualities than Iron Man 2, because our expectations were higher.
So you're putting this one above Iron Man 2 as well?
The first one?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Just Spirit of Vengeance.
Okay.
Spirit of Vengeance. Spirit of Vengeance. We kind of had a low bar, like it was a middle bar for Spirit of Vengeance, and Spirit of Vengeance actually did well for what it did. It actually, and Nick Cage really actually sold the Johnny Blaze. He actually sold the character very well in that movie. In Ghost Rider, not so much.
Speaking of which, you know who's rumored to play Ghost Rider in the MCU?
It better be Nick Cage.
No, it's Norman Reedus from Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon.
Interesting.
No shot.
Yeah, I'm actually
Oh.
really excited for that if that's the case.
Wow. Okay,
That'd
so
be dope. That'd be dope as fuck.
we got M Night Shyamalan next. Glass.
Oh,
I wish I
I
liked
forgot
Glass.
about Glass.
My
Glass was
issue.
Did I even
cool.
watch
Like, I
this
wasn't
movie?
expecting
Glass
it.
was cool in the sense that it's like it's cool that it happened, but the execution of it
Yeah.
was not
It
great.
was really weird.
I never watched this
wasn't
movie.
yeah, I wasn't expecting this movie to ever exist at
It's
all.
cool again.
It
It's
was
cool that it
yeah.
happened, but it's not a great movie at all.
No, it's not. It's not. I honestly
Did
thought
it
it
did
was
it
really
suffer
bad.
for the M Night Shyamalan effect?
Not even, which is
No,
weird.
it was just
It
it
didn't
was
even
just
get.
it was just a bad concept, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. It
Like
felt it
most
felt
yeah,
underwritten, and typically M Night
most
movies feel overwritten. So it's a
most of the
weird complaint
time
to have, but
movies will suffer from like it'll be good conceptually, but it'll fall flat in the production process. But this movie just failed right from the beginning with the fucking concept being bad.
Wait,
It was weird.
this was
I
the
It
it's
was
not
like a
F.
villain. It was like a fucking horror movie crossover kind of in a way. Not horror, but like thriller
Yeah, because it comes from
crossover.
Unbreakable and Split.
Yeah,
I was getting ready
Which
to
are two
say I
great
didn't realize
movies.
this was an end of a trilogy.
Yeah,
yeah. This movie had like a cool sequence with like the
which I
beast
wonder.
from
I'm sure
Split.
I saw Unbreakable earlier. I'm sure
Yeah,
Split isn't really a superhero movie though, so I guess it wouldn't be on here. Yeah, I'd go D with it. Joey, any objections?
no.
I think that's fair.
Never watched it.
Green Hornet.
Green
Oh, Green
Hornet.
Hornet, dude.
The
Fuck. I
the
love this
first
movie,
true
dude.
it was like one of the first true comedy hero movies, and it was
You want to see something cool? This movie was really good.
wasn't it Jack?
I
Wasn't it
wouldn't say
Jack?
really good.
Who was was it Jackie Chan who played the Asian? No,
No, it was
wasn't,
Jay
It
Chow, I
was
think.
Jay
Jay Chow,
Chow
yeah,
as Kato.
Yeah,
and it was
because I
fucking
remember
Seth
Christopher
Rogen.
Waltz is in this. Seth Rogen, obviously.
This movie was
Chudovsky, yeah.
fucking awesome. I love this movie.
I thought this
It's
was.
not
I
like
thought it was decent.
realistic. Yeah, like realistically, it's not like it's supposed to be good. Like,
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
It's,
You're not supposed to
but
take it seriously.
it was really funny.
I don't think it's B tier. I think C is appropriate.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern can fuck off. After
F.
fuck off.
It's ironic that Green Hornet was a better movie than Green Lantern was.
Yeah, well, and somehow it's not even close, which is impressive. But
Seth Rogen W.
Oh god. A for
Average
Guardians.
Seth Rogen W.
I would say
A-
S for the original
A
Guardians.
for Yeah, the Guardians trilogy goes in S tier. Best
Look,
MCU
I put it
trilogy,
as
it's not
I
even
put it as
fucking close.
A because that is you can't say that it's controversial to put Guardians of the Galaxy at least an A. At
Oh, no.
least an A.
Not at all.
Well, yeah, but like,
And
let's be honest here. Like, here's the thing. Let me sell you on why it's S tier a little bit. So, for example, they found a way to simultaneously introduce 5 different characters and make you really like all 5 of them a lot, all while maintaining a good plot of the story that you can follow it pretty accurately through the whole time, and making a villain that's realistic and accurate to the plot and make you actually care about the villain and what his motives are, and creating a deeper backstory behind that villain and his relation to Thanos. This movie did so well. The writing was fucking phenomenal. The casting was great. The characters absolutely nailed it. Everything about this movie, it screams James Gunn.
I want to add two essentials to that. Number one, the pacing is perfect in this one specifically. Perfect. Secondly,
soundtrack?
Yeah, the soundtrack, I think, and everybody knows that the Guardians soundtrack, you know, how good they are and how acclaimed they are, but what I don't think people fully talk about enough is the fact that contextually they always add so much to what James Gunn is doing here constantly.
True.
And I don't know, this movie just has so much. I mean, when I look at movies, I think one of the most important things to me is that they, and I always fuck this word up, but have a large amount of individualism. There it is.
There it is.
And the Guardians movie encapsulates that perfectly. Like there really is no movie like the Guardians movies. Like they have their own thing to them that just sets it apart from not only the rest of the MCU but superhero movies in general. And I think you could make the argument. I'd have to think about it, but at least in terms of having 3 consistently great to amazing movies, I don't know if it has been done in a superhero trilogy.
No, it
I'm not gonna
hasn't.
like Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the few trilogies where the sequel wasn't the worst movie, and that's not even because it's not even because there was any other like a first or second, first to the third were any worse. They were just all such a good. They were all
I
just
feel
such a
like
good
most
movie.
of I actually think that most of the time in a trilogy, the third is usually the worst.
No, the second's usually the worst in my opinion. From what I've seen, the second's usually the
So
worst.
I thought second's normally the best in most cases.
Huh?
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
like
Dark
it's
Knight,
it's
Empire.
How have we
yeah.
gotten 3 separate? What? Okay.
It's not that they're separate. It's just the second usually is easier for it to be the best because when you know a movie's going to be a trilogy, if the first one starts off well, it's easier to create the second one based off of what you've already done, what based off what you already did well and kind of add on to it. But the third usually suffers from trying to conclude it properly, and it kind of falls flat.
Because I think, and
I,
like
I,
it's
think,
like
I, think, I think
it's
the
a
second
Mass
always has the
Effect
problem
theory,
of
right? Of like the
Yeah.
third one, people got so mad because I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if there was a way Mass Effect 3 could have ended where people would have been happy. I really don't. And it's like it's one of those things where it's like when you have something that's so beloved, typically the most divisive part of it is the ending. Typically. And in a lot of cases, it's not even the fact that the ending isn't well wrote. It's just the fact that there's some series that you just can't end it in a way that's gonna satisfy everyone. And so the third in the trilogies typically come out the most divisive. I mean, I can think of a few
that's fair.
cases where the third is the best, like Lord of the Rings comes to mind. But I would say, I mean, like we did Blade. Blade 3 is easily the worst here. I think the third Captain America's the worst there. I mean, obviously it
Yeah.
varies, but speaking of sequels, Guardians 2,
That's
Also,
tier as
as
well.
what?
so good,
Yeah.
so good.
This is actually you'd be surprised on how controversial that
Yeah, I
was.
know. There are people that
Really?
really, yeah, it's
Oh
always either
yeah.
at the top of people lists or at the very bottom, and it's wild.
How?
I mean, I have a
Yeah,
friend that
For
straight
what
up,
Guardians hates
reason?
this
I have a
movie.
friend that loves Marvel movies and straight up doesn't like this movie.
Yes. Caleb knows Randy.
Yeah, yeah, Randy does
Randall?
not
Yeah,
like this movie,
Randy hates this movie. Yeah.
Randall hates this, bro. What the hell?
and he loved the first Guardian. So I mean, I don't know. I think it definitely goes it takes what the first one did and turns it up to 11 for sure. Like it's definitely more I think in your face with how I use cheesy, but I mean that in a good way, but how cheesy it can be at times. But
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
what strikes me about this movie is I think that it's arguably the most I don't know, that might be tough with Guardians 3 now. I don't know, but at least at the time was the most emotional resonant movie Marvel has had. I think like that,
At the time,
yeah,
yeah.
Yondu's whole like funeral at the end with all the fireworks, like there's a lot of character development in this movie, and it honestly has a lot to say. Obviously fatherhood is a big one here. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like, and I think of like there's so many just cool scenes. I think of what's his name with the arrow? I'm blanking with the arrow in his head, or not in his head, but the arrow that he can control with his head.
Yondu? Question mark?
Kraglin.
Was it? Oh, it was it. It
Wait,
was Yondu in this movie because yeah, he didn't die yet. Yeah, yeah. Where
yeah.
he clears
In
out the
Yeah.
Guardians
base with
2
the
is Yondu.
arrow.
Yeah,
Like I
that's
think of
Yondu.
scenes
That's how I
like
was
that.
like,
Like there's a
yeah,
bunch of just creativity
Is,
flowing in this.
is it Kraglin that gets it in 3?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kraglin's the one that gets it
Right.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Is
Guardians
that
2 is
Hancock?
fantastic. It is.
Is the next one Hancock?
It is. I'm not a huge fan of Hancock.
Hancock
I'm
is
also
Hancock
not a
was
big
it
Will Smith
suffers
fan, so.
yeah,
it
Hancock was a
suffers
really cool
from the
concept.
it suffers from the this is a cool movie from when it came out, but it really doesn't hold up that well because of the CGI and all that shit.
Yeah, I agree.
It
It's
was
a little
weird, dude.
wonky.
The prison scene was really weird too. Like mm, the
I like the
concept is
concept. The
cool.
concept of
Yeah,
the movie was amazing.
it's just I don't know. I'm cool with that too,
And Will
honestly.
Smith, the cast for Hancock for Will Smith was a good one. It's just the execution was very off.
I'd go D. I don't think it's like quite as egregious as these, but it's not
Yeah,
great. Is this Hellboy 2? Yeah. Um,
I never watched Hellboy.
I love Hellboy 2.
So y'all take the lead on this one.
Hellboy 2 is fucking great. Joe, you said you hadn't seen it in a long time, right?
Yeah, it's been a minute. I can't really speak on it.
Yeah, Hellboy 2 is fantastic. I'm confident in at least putting it in B tier. I'll keep it from A just because y'all can't really
Right.
add much. And I don't want to just
I
take
can't
over
refute
for a
that.
top tier, but I might put it in A if it were just me. It's really great.
I
The first
when I've heard people
Hellboy's
talk about it,
not
it's
quite
good.
as good, but it's still pretty good. So I would probably go C with it. I think that's fair.
See,
All right.
okay.
Ang Lee's Hulk is fucking terrible.
Uh,
Not much more. The original Thor, I really don't like this movie.
D.
Really, really
This is
don't
a
like
D
this
tier
movie.
movie. This isn't even a
D
fucking
movie.
Thor movie, bro. It's
I don't know
fucking D
why
tier.
you have a Thor movie and then so much of it takes place on Earth. That boggles my mind. And half of
So
it's
much of
spent
it
just
takes.
dicking around with characters that,
Yeah,
quite frankly, kind of
it's
suck. Natalie
the
Portman is
the
a great actress. She's not good in this movie for some reason.
the first Thor movie. He doesn't even have his fucking powers for most of it. It's so dumb.
He had
Also,
to earn them. That was the
we
whole
talked about it
story.
as
He had
well.
to earn them.
We talked about
No,
it
he
in the
didn't.
MCU tier list that we did, but the Dutch angles in this movie makes me want to throw up. So there's that
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
really bad.
The what angles?
Dutch angles, the
The Dutch
45-degree
angles.
angles. They're
Oh, yeah.
typically used for character moments, but this movie uses it for establishing shots quite often, and it's very off-putting. You said D? Yeah, I'm fine with
The
that.
I'd
F.
put it in D. Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
thought it
Yeah,
was
No, I
F.
would not put it. I would put it in F because
yeah, that's fine.
because it was
We'll put bottom of
it was
I
it was
don't like
significantly
it, but
better than it was significantly better than I can't remember the third. I can't remember the second movie. What's the second movie's name?
Dark World.
Dark World. It was significantly better than Dark World, and I can say it's better than False
Yeah.
Advertisement, the movie.
The original Incredibles, I think, is S tier for sure.
S tier.
Fantastic.
S
Yeah.
S tier.
Amazing, all time.
One of the arguably best Pixar movie. You could put it up there.
Yeah, it's in my top 3. It's not my favorite, but it's in my top 3 for sure. It
Yeah.
is truly
If somebody
a
told me,
masterpiece.
Incredibles was their favorite movie, anyways, I wouldn't be mad.
Oh no, not at all. It's
It's one of my favorite
very
Pixar
sharp.
movies.
It's very sharp.
I think it is my favorite Pixar movie.
Yeah, this one or Cars is my favorite. It's hard for me to pick.
Wow,
between those two.
that's crazy. Cars is like
Cars 1. Yeah.
Cars
If we can
one's
go
in
on a
my
little
bottom
tangent
5,
here about
so-
Cars real quick.
Really? Cars 1 in your
this-
bottom?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that series at all.
I love
When
Cars 2
it's
is comically
Cars
bad. Like,
falls off. Cars falls off
I
after
love
the first
Cars
movie.
1.
First one was good. Second one was mad. Third one was, why'd you make this?
Wait, Toy Story.
second
Toy
one was
Story is
terrible.
Pixar, right?
Yeah.
Second movie.
Okay,
Cars
never
2 is the
mind, Toy
worst
Story.
Pixar movie by a mile.
Yeah.
That
Little
movie
tangent about
sucks.
Cars, real quick. Little tangent about Cars. Please tell me why the protagonists from the first and third are similar, and then the second one is a literal eco-terrorist.
Oh, did y'all hear about the parallels between Cars 2 and Thor being the same plot?
No, but I believe it.
What do you mean? Wait,
Cars
what?
2 has a very
Cars-
bizarre plot. Cars 2 is like a spy thriller, or tries to be.
You said Cars 2 and Thor?
It was no Cars 1 and Thor 1 have the same plot.
Oh, okay, that
Oh,
sounds more.
yeah, that makes much more sense.
Yeah.
No, Cars 2 it went from I want to be the fastest racer to I need to stop an eco-terrorist from killing people in a fantastic way using cameras and shit. And it goes back to I want to be the fastest car again. How? What?
I don't know. In Cars 2, they were eating food and made me want to stop watching it. So there you go. Incredibles,
They were what? Oh,
Incredibles.
wait. What do you mean they're
2,
eating food?
They were eating like wasabi and shit. It's.
Oh, that's right.
Incredibles 2, I don't like. I don't think it's F
Really?
tier. I don't think it's F tier for sure, but it's fine. My thing is if you're gonna follow up Incredibles, like however many years later this was, like probably 10, 11, it's gotta be better than
way longer than that.
There's like a whole like section of superheroes in this movie in which I cannot remember a single one of them.
It was a 16-year difference.
Okay, there you go.
14-year
It
difference.
has a few memorable scenes, most notably the Jack versus the raccoon scene, which is great. Also, there's a really trippy scene that's like asking to give everyone in the theater epilepsy. That looks pretty cool as well. But outside of great animation and some just, memorable scenes here and there, I think like as a whole, it's very, very disappointing. I think that is a straight up masterpiece. I think it was
amazing for what it was, for what it was meant to be. It did the job well, in my opinion.
I don't know.
It,
I feel like it's missing the heart or the like it felt like they made this movie because they knew that it would be a hit just because it's Incredibles. Like it didn't feel like they really had a story they needed to tell. Like it just felt uninspired, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like it just doesn't have, and this is honestly kind of a common Pixar problem in this era and still to this day where it's like they just I don't know, like they don't have the same heart as that early
well,
2000s era
did,
of
did,
Nemo
did you ever hear
Incredibles.
about? Did you ever hear about the stories about the movies that they made back at the time?
Oh yeah, they're
Like the
crazy. Like
stories of the act of
Toy Story 2
the no
they
no no
did
no
the whole
not
thing in like
not
9 months.
this. Yeah, like the story of the work of the employees during the time. Like a lot of Pixar's like first works
John
were out of
Lasseter.
spite.
Yeah. Well, you remember they got in a whole not even that, but they got a whole company just to spite them. And who was it that did Ants? That was DreamWorks. Yeah, it was DreamWorks. Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah, DreamWorks and Pixar.
yeah, I mean there's a lot. That early Pixar era is very interesting to read about. There's a lot going on back then. And then
The
recently,
revolving door of no, well, what's even more interesting is the stories of like outside of the Disney's golden age after they finished doing the what was it? It was like the Lady and the Tramp, like those movies.
right.
After they got finished with that, did you ever, if you go back and look at the story of the Black Cauldron? Oh my
I
god,
love
the
Black
amount
Cauldron.
of bullshit that
That's an
happened,
obscure ass movie, but I love it.
bro. That
It's a
is
weird movie for a Disney movie.
liking Black Cauldron is probably one of the most controversial things I've ever heard in my entire life.
I
Really?
remember
Oh,
walking
I know
into
a
a
few people that really like it. I think it's great. It's
Really?
just really different for a Disney movie. Yeah.
I remember walking into a thrift store and on every single TV that was on, they were playing Black Cauldron.
Really?
That's an interesting
Yeah,
choice
it
for
was
that,
a
but
weird memory that I have. It's weird,
It
but that's what I remember
it
that movie
was
by.
it was the only it was the only movie that I've ever heard have 6 different directors, because almost every director looked at it and went, "No, we're not doing this," and then left.
well, the more you
And
know.
yeah.
Incredibles
Anyway,
2,
Incredibles 2.
I'm cool. I couldn't go higher than C. Like I'm cool with C. I'd go
I'll
D
throw in C.
personally,
Usually,
but dude, I just like what about it is so great? Like I can't think of a single like great thing about the movie. It's just fine.
I like the visuals of the superpowers.
Yeah, the
They're
animation's
really well done.
great.
It has that Pixar animation that
I'll put it at
really
the top of
does
C.
not fail. Oh no, I'm one of those people that like visuals a lot, so it's, to me, that's the way they did it with Incredibles 2 was very nice to me.
The original Iron Man, the one that started it all off. It's still a great movie.
Great
We
movie.
enjoy talking about it often, but it is
Strong
pretty.
strong B, low A.
I think A for Iron Man
A
1.
is 100%, yeah.
I think Iron
Yeah,
Man
throw it
1
up an A.
also just one of the best first acts of any superhero movie. I love the whole like Jensen in the cave. I mean, talk about like an
Yeah.
origin story and just going again. This isn't a time where superhero movies of this caliber were not frequent, so it's like for them to nail
It was
it
the
as much as they
first one.
did.
It was the literal first
Right.
one.
The only criticism I have with this is just its third act gets a little unnecessarily out of hand, but that's a Marvel problem that will pop up quite often.
The fight between Iron Man and what's his name? Tobias? Not Tobias.
You're talking about Tony.
Obadiah. Obadiah Stane.
Obadiah.
Tony.
The fight with the big mech versus Iron Man was
Mhm.
just a little excessive.
Yeah, I agree. That's really my only issue with it. I think everything else is great.
Yeah.
The
I see one of my favorite hero
so
movies. I see one of my favorite hero movies about to show up here pretty soon, and I
So-
can't wait to go off on it.
the
I know which one it is.
Oh wait.
Justice League. I never watched the Snyder.
Okay.
I never watched the Snyder
Oh.
cut, so
See-
that's my opinion on this movie. This movie sucks.
Yeah. Okay.
It
So
does not do almost
the
anything
first
well.
one's horrible.
Here's the thing. Right. I'm gonna assume that this is the theatrical cut and is meant to be the theatrical cut. I don't see Snyder cut on here, But if this is a theatrical cut, yes, it's easy F. If it's a Snyder cut, it's probably B.
Yeah, Snyder Cut really does help a
It
lot.
helps tremendously, like leaps and
Yeah.
bounds. But yeah, theatrical cut is fucking awful. Here we'll do Kick-Ass 1 before Kick-Ass 2 to just keep things in order.
I actually
Kick-Ass
really
1,
like
throw that shit in
Kick-Ass.
A. It's
I
so
actually
it's
like
such a
Kick-Ass a lot.
I like Kick-Ass a lot too.
it,
So we all
it resembles
I
the
rewatched
the
second one
Scott Pilgrim
recently.
esque style.
yeah, it's got a little bit of
And
that
it's
Edgar Wright kind of in it. Yeah.
There's a lot of
yeah,
inspiration.
it's a very good movie for what it is.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool concept, and I rewatched the second one recently, and it definitely holds up. Also, it's cool to see Aaron Taylor Johnson as that character too. It's like it's weird to see him as that now. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
So y'all want us to go A with it?
I'll throw that shit in A.
I'm cool with
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not gonna call it a masterpiece, but I'm gonna say it's a good movie.
I'm gonna
No,
step
Nick
in
Cage,
here.
Nick Cage as the Batman ripoff.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna
And then
come
the
in here and
second
say I
one, they
did
had
not like
yeah.
Kick-Ass 2 at all. I really liked the
I
first
thought
one.
Kick-Ass, I think
I
Not a
liked
fan of
Kick-Ass
2.
2 because it
the
continued the
second,
plot, continued the feel of the movie,
it wasn't as good
and
as
it
the first one, but it holds up. Like it's not that
yeah.
bad. I
I
also like seeing Jim Carrey as Stars and Stripes. It was really funny.
Yeah, this is the one that lost me. I mean, if this was my list, I would between F and D for sure, no doubt.
Damn, I would say C tier, like bottom of C. I'm cool with.
Okay,
Wasn't that bad. It's fun to
we'll
watch.
meet in the middle.
It's
Y'all know that Hit
entertaining.
Girl plays Destiny.
Yes, I
Yep.
do know that. Actually.
Chloe Grace Moritz.
Pretty
Lego
good
Batman
for that.
movie.
I never watched this
It's
movie.
Oh, I thought you liked it.
What?
Two. Fuck.
The Lego Batman? I never got around to watching it.
This one was
Oh.
Zoe said it earlier, or maybe it was in reverse. I'm not sure, but I really loved this when I first saw it. But like every time I've watched it since, I've liked it less and less.
Really?
Yeah, like it's funny at times. I don't know. It goes a little overboard to the point where it's like it feels like it's trying too hard to make you laugh at times. And when it works, it really works, and when it doesn't, it really doesn't. So it's one of those
And
mixed bagged experiences where it's like I like it fine. I wouldn't be mad if it was on, but I definitely wouldn't want to go out of my way to watch it
so
again.
I'm hearing I'm hearing a recurring pattern. So we're putting this right next to Deadpool, right?
I would probably go C with it.
This sounds just like Deadpool for you right here. Batman,
I mean,
Lego
honestly,
Batman's
I
like
think
Deadpool.
I prefer Deadpool. Honestly.
I mean, yeah, that would make sense. It's just funny. It's just funny that I heard the same argument for
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Yeah. I mean, I feel similarly about them, honestly. I'm glad Deadpool 2's on here though. We'll get to that in a minute. Joey, are you okay with C?
Yeah.
Okay. Logan. I think this is an
Oh
immediate
man.
S.
Yeah, this is an absolute fucking.
This movie
banger.
fucking rules.
Bang.
This movie smacks so fucking hard, dude.
I
Oh
mean,
my god.
to me, it's like barely a superhero movie, but
Yeah.
it's on here, and it should be S.
fucking
It is.
Having Professor X being on the verge of insanity for almost the entire movie.
One of Hugh Jackman's very best performances too. I will say
Absolutely.
I would say it was his best performance, but I watched Prisoners again today,
It's like,
and I think
here's
that
the
might
thing,
be
dude.
it. But
Dude, it's so hard to see him as Hugh Jackman. He just looks like Logan. I only see him as
Interesting.
Logan.
Yeah.
movie.
I guess I've seen him in
Him-
too many other
Hugh
movies.
Jackman has that problem with Wolverine as Robert Downey Jr. has with Iron Man.
See, that's different to me. Like Hugh Jackman's had so
Yeah.
many other great performances too that I can see
Yeah,
past
no,
it. But
it's not. And I didn't mean it as in like I only see Hugh Jackman as Logan. I just think that in this movie specifically, he
Oh.
plays Logan so well
oh yeah,
that
no,
I don't look at him as like, oh, that's the actor, he's doing a good job. I look at him as that is Logan on my
I've
screen.
noticed it's a trend in like characters that I really love, like just like badass kind of male leads. I typically like them the most when they're like the oldest and the most gruntled. Like I feel that way about Ezio in the Assassin's Creed trilogy, where it's like in Revelations when he's all old, that's like the best. That's
Mhm.
when he's at his best to me.
Revelations was my favorite Assassin's Creed.
It was my
Or
favorite out of
besides
that
3, but
original.
that's a hot take.
That original. Yeah, we don't need to get into that. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think S tier for Logan is a given. Personally,
absolutely. Yeah. If
Man of
somebody told me this is their
Steel.
favorite movie, I
Oh
wouldn't be
yeah, I
mad.
wouldn't be mad. No, that's a great pick. Man of Steel.
Honestly,
I
the more I've thought about this movie, I actually rewatched it recently, and I liked it less. This
I,
movie's not good.
I was gonna say it's fine. It is like the definition of thinking it is way cooler than it is.
Oh, for sure,
Like
dude.
this movie
That
Yeah.
takes
was
itself
no,
ridiculously seriously, and it
and it
doesn't
doesn't.
need to.
This is a movie that I think does such a disservice, not only to Henry Cavill, but to Superman as a character. Like Henry Cavill is probably the best choice for Superman. Period. Like, just look at the fucking guy. But like the fucking script, the screenplay, like it just doesn't do a good job at all. And like here's the thing, the scene of his I'll take one thing for example. The scene of his dad with
Oh
the
my
tornado,
god. Yeah.
you know, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? Of all things, like your identity, whatever. If there's anything that Superman can save somebody from, it's his dad in the tornado. And he just chooses not to. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb. It tries to make him seem like
I
such a kid in the movie. It's so
I
bad.
see a lot of this movie is contrived as well. I think of like the school bus scene in particular that's like supposed to be a big moment, but
Yeah.
instead just like I don't know, it's just a little derivative and again, I think overall this movie just takes itself far too seriously and it doesn't
Oh,
have a
for
script to
sure.
back that up. Like if you're gonna take that approach to the Dark Knight approach of tone, you have to have writing that backs it up and this one unfortunately doesn't, so it just ends up being kind of boring a lot of the runtime.
Yeah.
I think there's good things about it. I like the opening in Krypton a lot. I wish more time was spent on Krypton. Um, but yeah, it's just I I'd go C probably with it. It's not bad. It's just fine.
I would say top of D. Like honestly, it's not. I really didn't
Interesting.
like it.
Cerna,
It just gets
I go
worse
top
each
of
time
D.
I watch it.
top of D. All right, there you go. I'm not mad at
Just
that.
it's just one of those very mid
Yeah,
movies.
it's
It just
fine.
kind of sucks.
It's below. It's
All right,
Uh,
below
S
mid
tier,
for me.
S tier,
Megamind.
S tier.
I'm not going
This
S
was
with
the
it, but
boy.
it's great.
This was the boys before the boys came out, bro.
Megamind is great. Megamind is way smarter than you would think.
Dude,
Like if you
the
watch it
Megamind.
again,
Megamind was ahead of its time, and the only reason why it didn't succeed was because Minions existed at the same time. It's the only reason why no one talks about this movie as much as they do,
well,
as much as they
it
should.
was Despicable Me
Because
because they came
Despicable
out in the
Me came
same
out the
year.
same year.
Yep. But
Oh, it
Megamind was
did,
the
didn't
much
it?
better movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
I completely
but
forgot about
fucking
that.
Minions, bro.
I mean, this Despicable Me was still good, but like Megamind was
I
just way more. It
Yeah,
was
but
way
the reason
smarter of a
why everyone
movie. It
exploded
was
about
written
Despicable Me,
better.
though, was fucking
Minions. It
I,
was Minions and then the three
Minions.
little girls. The
It,
fucking. It's so
it
fluffy. I'm gonna die.
this was the first movie that actually brought the idea of maybe superpowers isn't a good thing for the common person, because this was the movie where you literally gave an incel like superhuman powers. This was a commentary on incels before incels existed.
You gave a Discord mod superpower.
also,
True.
Brad Pitt plays Metro Man in this, which
You mean
Wait,
aut-
who?
Markiplier?
automatically automatically puts this in at least. I would go B with this. That's where I'm at. It's
B?
great.
I'm putting it at A at least.
I would say top of B.
Top
I
of
can
B.
be cool
Okay.
with top of B. Like this movie's very smart.
It is.
It's written very well.
I agree. It's
The
very
concept
clever.
is great.
Oh,
It's
Brad Pitt
really
did play
good.
Metro Man.
I agree. I think it was Cernan that said it, but ahead of its time is a great way to put it because I think it really was. It's
It was
gotten
ahead of
kind
its
of a
time, and
like
it came out. It came out at such a shitty time.
it seems like it's gotten a
because
big retrospective because I see people talk about it all the time now, but when it came out, it was
Yeah.
not. Nobody really
and
thought much of it.
you want to know why that probably was though? It was probably because shows like The Boys started coming out, and they started to realize like how this concept go, and Megamind
It's kind of
was
the
probably one of the
origin
first
point.
movies
Yep.
to bring that around, and it actually was such a good movie.
Dude, I
There's a
fucking
lot of
need The
social
Boys
And,
commentary in
season
this
and
as
also
well.
the Megamind meme that might have done something.
There's
Yeah,
been
it's true.
so many of them too, and they're all good.
Nacho Libre I watched a lot as a kid, but it's a bad movie.
is it a superhero movie?
Yeah, I don't really think so, but it's
I
a
I'm
don't
great
throwing
know,
movie.
it's
I'm
kinda-
throwing this I'm throwing this in the list at the bottom because
Yeah.
it's not a superhero movie. No, not even F tier. I would just throw it just not in a superhero movie.
We're just gonna put in A. Actually, wait. No, fuck it. We'll leave it
I
there.
love Jack Black just as
Um,
much as the next guy, but it's just
So Deadpool 2, I'll start because I know I was the one that shit talked Deadpool 1. I actually do prefer the second one because I think my issue with the first one was like it has a very linear, familiar plot that it kind of follows such a traditional structure despite being so outlandish. This one kind of says fuck all that and leans into its absurdity in its plot.
Hey,
So I think I
hey, hey,
connected with
hey,
it a little
hey,
bit more.
hey, hey, hey.
I would go B with it, but I wouldn't be mad with Deadpool 1 being in B, then put it A. Joey, I'll let you be the final decider on that.
I think there's things that Deadpool 1 does better, and I think there's things that Deadpool 2 does better than Deadpool 1.
Also,
But
Brolin's great in
Deadpool,
Deadpool 2.
yeah, Deadpool 2, I was about to say, Deadpool 2 had Brolin. I think the Luck character was really cool.
Domino, yeah, she was fucking
Domino,
awesome.
yeah.
20,
She was really
2016, 2017 was probably the busiest years of Josh Brolin's life.
Oh yeah,
cool. Yeah, dude, bro got the Supermax deal, dog. Like, that motherfucker got the bag. And he was also in Dune as well recently. He's gonna be in Dune 2, probably. This motherfucker's getting so much money. But,
Hey, Roland.
yeah. I usually put them together.
say put them
'cause
together.
I think I usually put them together. Like I want to put it in A tier just because I love Deadpool and I love Ryan Reynolds, but there's things that Deadpool 1 does a little bit better to me, but Deadpool 2 does have a couple better characters in my opinion. I the one thing I didn't like about Deadpool 2
It's got the kid
was
from Hunt from the Willow People, which I really liked.
what's the
Which
kid
one?
what's the kid's name in the movie, the Deadpool 2, the fat little kid?
Rusty.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Rusty
kid,
Collins.
I didn't like him very much. I like the
No.
character, like the concept of him, but I didn't like the guy who played him very much.
He-
You didn't like Julian Dennison?
he's great. He's actually
Yeah.
he's phenomenal in Hunt from the Willow People, which is a Taika Waititi movie
Yeah,
that they definitely
Yeah.
got. I imagine they saw that and that's where they.
Oh my
got
god, I
it.
forgot about this movie.
yeah. I didn't think I didn't really like him that much in this one. But that's probably nothing against the kid. It's just I just didn't like him that much in Deadpool 2.
So this
That's why
is
I put it.
the
That's like my only problem.
this is the 2004 Punisher movie, which was very bad. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but
Yeah.
it is
No,
egregious.
I've
Did
seen
not
it.
watch
Yeah,
it.
it's pretty bad.
I have not seen this. I'm not gonna lie.
Was it a series?
Yeah, I'm trying to. What did they make a movie?
For Punisher?
Yeah, like
Yeah, there
after.
was a Punisher movie.
Well, I mean
Yeah, there's a
after the
Punisher
one that we
movie.
just did.
It was 2004.
Oh no, I don't think so.
So why? So this is a series. Why
That's
is
the
this
Netflix
only?
Punisher, I think.
We're just gonna put the because these.
No,
aren't
no,
even
no, no, no,
movies.
no. That's the 2004 Punisher.
What is this?
What does that say?
Because
I
this
can't
is.
read it.
Hold on one second. Let me do some research real quick.
I can't read that.
One of these is the series for sure. Okay, yeah. So
that's
this
the
is
89. That's the 89. That's the
okay.
89.
Okay, I didn't watch that one then. And
No,
I've
I
seen
did not
this
watch
one.
89.
I hated this one.
04, I did not. I didn't watch 04. I didn't watch 89. I didn't watch the series, which I think that's the series that you're looking at right there.
Yeah, we'll just put that there.
Shazam.
I don't like Shazam. This is just one of those movies that's just not for
Shazam.
me. It's
Yeah.
This is a you like it or you hate it. There really is no in
I
between here.
agree. This movie did
I thought
nothing
Shazam
for
was
me.
really charming. I
It,
thought it was really entertaining.
it's either you like the movie because it's you either like it for what it is or you don't like it for what it is. And it's kind of it's an unfortunate. There's not really much of a middle ground on this one here.
I liked
And
it. I thought it was really
and
entertaining.
you saw the amount of people that liked the first Shazam by the ticket sales for the second one.
Yeah.
Well, the second one was just a bad movie.
Yeah, but
I can't speak on that.
You had
'cause
to
I
like
haven't
the
seen
first
it.
Shazam in order to even get into the box office for the second one.
Well, yeah,
But I just in a
first Shazam
world
also got a
where
90%.
Deadpool and Ragnarok exist, this just doesn't work for me. Like I just rather watch
Well,
those.
it's not
If I'm
like
going for that
well,
kind of What?
It's not like I'm trying to put it on a tier that high. I'm
Well,
just
yeah,
saying I enjoyed it.
I don't know. I'm kind of sour on this one. I mean, I don't think it's F tier for sure. I would go D,
I
but I
think it's a
wouldn't be
C.
mad at C.
Yeah,
It'd
I
be
would
a
say
solid
C
C.
tier.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really not that bad.
I mean, I'm never saying it's bad. It's just it's not for me. It just doesn't.
Caleb, it's not that bad.
All right, man. All right. Homecoming,
Um,
I've kind of come to appreciate more and more over time. Vulture's
Yeah,
great in it. I'm not a fan of a lot of what MCU does with Spider-Man in terms of kind of being Iron Man Jr. I get what they're
Iron
doing and why they
Boy.
did it.
Iron Boy.
I don't
Not
know.
Iron Boy, it's Iron Man.
Homecoming's cool though. Homecoming has like a good sense of scale. It does it. It's not trying to be more than what it is, which I
Yeah,
really
I like
appreciate.
I like I like Homecoming a
A
lot.
lot of funny moments too. I loved like this the
It
this is
also
a
has one
theme
of my
throughout, but
first.
the school videos that they have in it is fucking hilarious. The detention videos are even funnier.
It
With
has
Hannibal
one of my
Bates, it's
favorite
just
scenes. It has one of my favorite scenes from the MCU being the
car scene.
ferry on the no
Oh.
on the ferry where Iron Man comes to talk to him and he takes the suit back. But that was one of my favorite scenes. It was really good.
I
I
think I
think it
would have
was.
liked that scene more if they didn't put it in the trailers. That was one of my beef with that. I don't know why that was in
Uh,
the trailer,
I don't even remember it
but
being in the
it
trailer at
is a
all.
cool scene. But
But I thought it was really because it was great character development for both of them at the same time. Because it was it was good development for Tony because he was you know being a mentor in a way, being an adult. Like the whole thing of him saying like I just wanted to be like you, and he was like I wanted you to be better. And it was really cool to see that, like him kind of be that father figure in a way to him, and a real mentor. It was
well, if
that scene
well
was
if you
really
were
emotional to me.
well if you cared, you'd actually be here. And he pops out of the fucking suit.
Yeah, he's like, what do you think I'm doing here? Then he's like,
the
what do you
highlight
think? Yeah.
the highlight of this for me is, I mean, overall Keaton's Vulture, but more specifically the scene
Oh
where they're
yeah.
all in the car and the pieces are starting to get put together for both of them
Oh yeah.
is a very very well done scene, one of the best in the MCU
Oh yeah.
in terms of
Absolutely. Like
directing.
when
Like
he's
The
the rear view,
driving
yeah,
them
it
to the
is.
homecoming,
Yep,
and
God,
it
the
he
is
finally
tension.
great.
figures
Yep.
out that
The
he was
the
fucking
only thing I
Spider-Man.
didn't like about the movie, only thing was the end credit scene where they brought in a new villain and they didn't do anything with him whatsoever.
Who was it
And
again? I
Morbius
remember
did.
that. It was on a
Scorpion.
boat,
It
wasn't
was
it?
Scorpion.
Scorpion.
It was Scorpion.
No, Keen was in prison. He was
He was
going
in
in
Oh
prison. He
yeah,
met
yeah, yeah.
Scorpion.
You're right. You're right. Because they're trying to do the Sinister Six thing. I think that's where that came
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
I'd go B tier with it. Y'all cool with that?
Yeah. Yeah. BT's good.
It is interesting how they're doing like a reverse Avengers setup with Spider-Man's villains.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's looking more and more like Spider-Man's villains are showing up in reverse order, or not reverse order, but like they're adding villains to him, and they're making a villain. They're probably end up having to make the villain team afterwards, kind of like how the Avengers did, but they're not introducing the. You know what I mean? I'm blanking here. I can't fucking say words today.
Spider-Man 3. So Spider-Man 3, okay, listen. Spider-Man 3 is not a great movie. I understand that. But I will
It's
never
goofy.
not be entertained as shit watching this movie.
Dude, the Venom was so ugly, but it was like so funny to look at.
Like objectively, it might be D, maybe even F, but like I would put it at C out of just the pure like I'd watch Spider-Man 3 before any of these movies, hands down, and get more enjoyment out of it. For the wrong
At
reasons,
least,
maybe,
yeah.
but I don't know.
This
Yeah.
It's
the
overstuffed,
only
obviously. There's too many villains. Venom wasn't supposed to be in this movie. Clearly, Raimi said that was forced. It felt forced, and it's just this movie's doing way too much in so many occasions. That being said, it is still somehow wildly entertaining to watch.
the only redeeming quality I can think of from this movie was the rubber band effect that happened on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Like he drifted so far away from responsibility that he had to snap himself back because of the whole Venom situation.
Mm, mm.
That was the one thing I actually enjoyed from it was you had to snap back to character of like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be this character. I'm not supposed to be this guy. I'm like going against his Uncle Ben's wishes, pretty much. Like he was losing himself.
We also
and I thought that was
famously
really interesting.
we famously got Emo Parker in the dance scene,
Emo Parker.
which is fucking timeless. Yeah, this
Each his
movie's
own.
really wacky and weird, but I like it. I would put it in C tier. Any objections?
No.
C is a good place for it.
Cool. Spider-Man 2 is an immediate S tier. Probably my second
Spider-Man
favorite superhero movie of all time behind Dark Knight. It is, I think, perfect.
Why am I blanking on this one?
This is
Was
Doc
this?
Ock. This is, I mean, this is I
Was,
think the
oh,
That's
this was
apex of
this
the
was
Spider-Man
Doc
Raimi
2?
Ock.
trilogy. Yeah.
Oh, this was the one I had the video game. This is my
The
favorite PS2 video game.
Yeah, the Spider-Man 2 video game was classic.
Th- th-
That's actually
this
a
is
great
what
game, like unironically.
this game was what defines Spider-Man games, like
And-
how they should be.
Right, but you also this movie is I think a 10 out of 10. Like this is Raimi at his very best.
Absolutely.
I'll
And
agree.
yeah, I mean, come on, it's
S
Spider-Man 2.
tier. S tier.
Okay. Fuck Suicide
For
Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Um,
Only redeeming quality was Will Smith playing as Deadshot. That's the only. That's the only thing.
I would say the only redeemable
Harley
quality is
Margot
Margot
Robbie.
Yeah, I was gonna
Harley
say.
Margot
Quinn,
Robbie
yeah.
too.
But this movie has an atrocious soundtrack, like a egregiously, especially just how it's used. This is like everything I don't like in a movie, and also like
Yeah.
one of the worst villains I think I've ever seen in a movie. Period. And the
This-
Enchantress or whatever the fuck she was
The
called.
Enchantress.
God.
The-
Also,
the-
Jared
the-
Leto's
the
Joker that
villain-
looked like he just walked out of Hot Topic. I can't
Yeah.
do it, man. I can't do it.
One of the first times seeing Joker outside of Heath Ledger, it was a slap to the fucking face of the character. I'm like, what the f is this? I was really glad they made a Joker movie after that.
Okay, have you guys seen these original Superman movies?
No.
Okay,
No.
I will take over because I have. I would put Spider-Man 1 realistically now is a C tier. Superman 2 is a great movie. If we did this tier list like 20 years ago, it'd probably be A or S, but in 2023 it's B. Superman 3 and 4 both suck. Superman Returns, I don't know, have y'all seen this?
No.
It is very
up.
boring, and most of it takes place in the office. I just remember. I watched it a lot as a kid and was disappointed every time. Why did I keep watching it? I don't know, but I did. But it was bad
Why am I blanking on this one?
because it's like the most boring movie you could watch in your life.
Well, I don't think I watched this movie. Period. To be honest.
We'll just put that where it
Yeah,
belongs.
I did not watch this movie.
Fuck Superman Returns. Unbreakable is fantastic. I love Unbreakable.
Did not watch Unbreakable.
Samuel L.
no- I
Jackson,
have
Bruce
no-
Willis. It might be my favorite M Night movie. Period. And I don't love M Night, but Unbreakable I think is genuinely great. Joe, have you seen Unbreakable?
Bits and pieces.
What are your overall feelings?
I think it's pretty cool, honestly. Like, it's a really cool concept.
I could go A with it, but I guess I'll put it in B. I guess that's good. This is the first Venom. First Venom's okay.
Yeah, it's better than the second one.
I agree.
I rewatched it recently, and I thought it was really fun to watch. But as far as movies goes, like, I'd say C tier.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's fine.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
It is fun to watch.
Oh, I
I
did
think
this
Tom
wrong.
Hardy's really cool.
There we go. Watchmen, I
The
think is
voice-
Watchmen's
The
great.
voice for Venom. Oh, Watchmen's awesome. Yeah.
Did not
Dr.
watch it.
Manhattan is so fucking overpowered.
One of
Rorschach in this
Snyder's
movie is
best
really good,
movies.
too. Yeah,
What are you thinking, B or A? I could go either.
I'm cool with B tier.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
It's hard to put it with some of those really good ones in A.
So this is the Wolverine. This is the one that takes place in Japan,
Oh,
right?
this is
Yeah.
the only fucking like X-Men series movie that I never saw.
Okay.
I watched this movie. It was a solid movie for what it was. It just didn't. There was nothing that made this special.
I agree. I'm with you.
In
It's
my opinion, like it
serviceable.
didn't feel like a special movie. It felt like it. Cause what this was the one where they pulled the adamantium out of Wolverine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this movie
and it was-
screams C tier.
It is a mid movie for Wolverine and pretty much movies in general.
Yeah, I think it's serviceable at best.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. I don't know. Wonder Woman.
This is the first one, right?
The first Wonder Woman was great.
See, I
I'll
don't
put
think
it.
it's.
I'll put it at a B tier for first one.
What's holding me from saying it's great? I'm not mad at the B tier. My only like big beef with this movie is I think the ending is just horrid. Like the twist is
Oh.
bad. And then it just turns into a huge CGI clusterfuck that it didn't need to. And it just like the more it goes on, the more it derails itself. That being said, like it's a perfectly enjoyable, fine movie. There's some sequences in this that are genuinely great. The No Man's Land sequence in particular is one I remember loving.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got some good, got some bad, but it's fine. I'd go see Joe. You
The
said B,
castle
Cerna.
scene.
Where do you?
I put it at B.
Okay.
Did not watch the newer X-Men movies.
Okay. So Apocalypse
So-
is, I think, bad.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
I
I
think
heard
it's
it's
D,
awful.
though. I don't think it's F. I really don't.
No, it's not. No, it just wasn't good.
Yeah, I think next to Thor is a fine place for it. Days of Future Past is great. I'd go A.
I watched this movie. This was insane. This was an insanely good movie.
Yeah, I think it's A tier for sure.
A for sure.
Solid
yeah,
A tier.
Nothing to
I think it
stop
has A
that.
tier.
Very good movie.
Some of the best use of time travel as well. I'd argue,
True.
no, it's way
Probably
better than
the
A.
Yeah.
Probably
Probably,
the best.
yeah.
The only time I'm cool with it.
I really like First Class. Not quite as much as Days
First
of
Class
Future Past. It's a
was-
much smaller scale movie.
Yeah.
But I love seeing like Magneto and Professor X. I think is arguably the most interesting thing about these movies, and this one explores that on a much deeper level than any others do, which I really appreciate. I think B tier is perfect for it. I don't think it's.
I'll put First Class a B tier.
Yeah, I think especially because I think like the performances elevate this. Just
Yeah.
overall, just yeah, probably better than what's in the C tier.
The one thing that sticks out for me for that one too is the Banshee scene.
Yes,
I don't know
agree.
why it does, but the Banshee scene was very nice.
X-Men Origins Wolverines is like funny bad.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
It's funny
Deadpool.
bad.
But at the end of the day, it's still bad. It's got
It's really
maybe
bad,
the
yeah.
most egregious like opening title sequence I've ever seen in my life, and the overall tone in this movie is just jarring as fuck. Like it is wild.
Yeah,
It's bad.
there-
It's really
it's like no stops on a train that's not going anywhere.
yeah, exactly. It's yeah. That's a great way to put it. That is that movie. Is this Last Stand? Oh my god, dude! Seeing those wings just gives me PTSD.
Let me look up. X-Men Last Stand. X-Men Last Stand is the
It's the third movie in the original X-Men trilogy, so it's
yeah. I'm
X2's
trying to figure out
follow-up.
which one we're looking at here. That's the first one is Last Stand. The second one, I believe, is the original.
No. There's X-Men and then X2 and then Last Stand. Last Stand's the third.
Yeah, I think that second one you're looking at is the first X-Men.
Yeah, this is the first X-Men. This is the third.
No, that's Last Stand.
Yeah, I know.
Is it?
Last Stand is the
Oh.
third movie in the X-Men trilogy,
Correct.
and it's bad. Joey, we watched it not that long ago,
Yeah.
and
That's the one they introduced Angel, right?
yeah, and it gets
Oh,
absurd really quickly, and especially as a follow-up to X2, it is insanely disappointing.
For sure.
Yeah, F tier I think is where it belongs. And then the original X-Men is good, definitely good for the time. Hasn't aged the best, but it's still fine movie. I'd go see with the original X-Men. I don't want to be mean, especially for its time. You got to give it some respect.
I agree.
So there it is. We did it. Holy shit!
God,
As
damn.
expected.
They didn't have Dark Phoenix in here.
Thank God. The F tier is already getting busy. There's
F
more
tier's already
F tier than
bloated.
anything else. So I don't know what that says, but there you go.
I thought we were gonna
That
choose
says that
Black Widow.
this is that 2010, 2011 was not a good couple of years.
No, it was dark times.
2005 to 2012 for superhero movies were probably not the best.
But I will say this S tier is mighty strong, and I also want to add that if Guardians 3 were included on this list, it would also be an S tier. Wanna
That
throw
would
out there.
also be an S tier. Yep.
But there you go. There you have it.
Good.
If you made it this long, thanks for watching. Holy shit, that's about 2 hours. But we did it.
Fuck.
You just
Made
throw
it
it
out
up
the
and
other
gave everyone
side.
epilepsy real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that for 5 minutes without blinking and see what happens.
My
Or
eyes.
hallucinate. There you go. All right, that's it. Thank y'all. Deuces.